Strange. It's strange. What are you guys doing? I'm just overwhelmed by it. And because of it, it just keeps sticking with me. Just so like, focused and I don't know. I'd really like to make 2026 such a good year. But I mean, you see like Trump talking about pardoning Netanyahu because he's such a hero, and he's such an awful human being. Who? Like, you just wonder, do they really think it works? Do they really think that, as they're showing that, as Trump and Netanyahu are dressed in little buddy outfits and taking turns blowing each other, we're going to give Trump the Israel Prize, the first non-Israeli to get the Israel Prize. Do they honestly think any of us see it and they're like, wow, that's really great. Can you believe that? Oh, I'm so happy. Do they even think that way? Do they really think what they're doing works, or is it just like a joke? I can't imagine. I can't imagine they like take any sort of polls or anything like that says that people love the Israel stuff. And I mean, it's clearly like the biggest issue in the world. I saw something where somebody was talking about that over 1 billion separate posts have been made regarding that whole situation from people all over the world, which is kind of scary when you think about it. Like, how do they know? Right? How do they ensure that happens that way? But it's still to show you that, like, it's the number one thing in the world. And like, and it's the number one thing in the world. It's the number one post in the world. It's all that stuff. And none of it is in support of Israel outside of Jews and Israelis. It'll be the same thing, That hurt. Right now, there's all this celebration for nothing. People don't even understand why they celebrate this, why we have New Year's, what the calendar represents, any of this shit. It's just bread and circus. It's an excuse to get drunk and act stupid. And we Goyim love an excuse to act stupid and get drunk. And celebrate these phony illusions, Oh, we're celebrating our freedom and blah, blah, blah. And it's like we don't, our freedom is definitely an illusion and comes with strings attached. Like, look, I'm gonna look up Israel right now. What's up, open-minded? Why aren't you doing something, buddy? You know what? Who am I to say anything? We're all in that same boat. So I just did Israel into the Google machine. I clicked news and then I clicked sort by date. 1 hour ago, even though Netanyahu has a 53% disapproval rating back home in Israel. Oh, this is a Facebook post. It won't show up. Let's see. Yeah, no, I don't want that. Israeli woman rescued after mistakenly entering Area A. Area A. Initial investigation into the incident indicated the 22-year-old woman mistakenly ended up in Jericho while intending to travel to a different destination. This is a news story. So it's a news story to think that one Israeli woman went to a certain area and she shouldn't have. And that's a news story. The Jerusalem Post is talking about it. 22-year-old woman is rescued from Jericho in Area A of the West Bank by Israeli forces. Mariv reported late Wednesday night. The Israeli civil administration received reports of the woman wandering around the city of Jericho, which is under the control of the Palestinian Authority, and sent officers from the Jericho Coordination and Liaison Directorate to retrieve her. That's pretty fucking weird. The woman was then handed over to the IDF to be transported out of Area A. The case was handed over to the Israeli police for investigation. Mariv reported that an initial investigation into the incident indicated that the woman mistakenly ended up in Jericho while intending to travel to a different destination. This story sounds fake as shit. Security forces initially issued a reminder that entering Area A is prohibited by law and potentially life-threateningly dangerous. Multiple Israelis rescued from Area A. Over the past week, multiple Israelis have been rescued from Area A after unintentionally, and in some incidents intentionally, entering the Palestinian controlled area where they're seemingly safe, it sounds like. On Sunday, 3 Jewish Israelis similarly entered Jericho after making a navigational mistake before being rescued. What an insane narrative to be putting out there. They're getting rescued from literally nothing. Medical crew or medical chair MSF. Jesus, why is this one so coffee? Urges Israel to allow it to operate in Gaza, West Bank in 2026. Medical charity is urging Israel. Cyprus, Greece, and Israel quietly strengthen their Mediterranean alliance. Oh, that's awful to hear. Attracting little publicity, Cyprus, Greece, and Israel have deepened their military cooperation, signing a trilateral agreement in Cyprus last week that builds on a multi-year partnership between the three nations. Wow. Last week's agreement signed at technical level by military staff covers joint air and naval exercises, training, and intelligence cooperation. Greece is expected to take part once again in the Israeli-led naval exercise Noble Dina in the Mediterranean in the spring. Exercise Noble Dina is an annual Israeli-led multinational exercise which normally takes place off the coast of Greece or Cyprus. The exercise last year from March 19th to April 3rd. That's a long-ass exercise. Practice tactical maneuvering, commercial vessel escort duties, anti-submarine warfare, anti-sea cooperation exercises, and search and rescue operations. Jesus, man. Israel, this is a different story. Israel emerged from war stronger than ever, Netanyahu says at JNS event in Florida. Why is he here? Have you guys seen the footage of the what's it called? The travel, when they travel, the escort, the police escorts. Jesus, I'm forgetting the word, the fucking term for it. But when the president travels, the presidential motorcade, there it is, the motorcade. Have you guys seen that they're showing Netanyahu's motorcade is bigger than Trump's? It's so fucking crazy. I wish I knew they were coming to Michigan. I would go and fucking yell as loud as I could, protest as hard as I could. CBS News says Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visits with lawmakers, community leaders during South Florida visit. A rare visit from Israeli Prime Minister, but he's been to this country 5 times, and Trump's been to Israel once. So a total of six different joint, an average of once every 2 months, Netanyahu comes here. Don't you think that's a little fucking strange? This is in the news. Went to Google, put in Israel, clicked news, and then clicked sort by date. So if you'd like to read along, you're more than welcome. I'll go. What's going on? I definitely thought you'd be doing something cool tonight. Can't imagine. What? Why is this so goddamn coffee? Jesus Christ. Where is it from Netanyahu who brought heightened security, large crowds, and miles long traffic backups to parts of Miami Beach on Surfside on Wednesday. I love to see the large crowds. You know it's people booing and shit. You know it's a bunch of protesters. Do you not hear them?
Yeah, no, I hear them, and they're not listening to me at all.
So you just walk away? So I got to do it?
I yelled, stop, stop, stop. I was going to say, hand me the phone. And
God damn it. So ridiculous.
Yeah,
What would you do if I wasn't here?
I would probably break out a baseball bat. I don't know. I'm so thankful that I don't have to worry about that. Because you're so wonderful. He is. He's really a wonderful dad. And I just got done cooking a fucking kick-ass meal for us, so tag. That's how that shit works. Oh, I can't see shit if y'all are typing shit. I can't see shit. Oh, we are professional. Oh. Hey, Algo. Oh, my goodness. How are you? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. How are you guys? I don't know what you guys are talking about. I was just braving the blizzard out there. It's awful. My God. It is awful. I put makeup on earlier and I think it's running all over the place. I don't know. I can't see really good right now. Oh, holy cow. That was a delicious meal. Always nice to eat a wonderful meal on a holiday. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Is that, yeah, that's Leo. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's hope that this year's fucking better than 2025, man. Wow, what a rough year. We still have some crazy energy to contend with, but the light is becoming visible. And as long as we keep working towards it, we should be all right. Dunkin' was fucking closed. Well, they're about to be closed. And there's no way in the snow I was going to be able to make it there in time. Did you beat them?
Yeah, of course I did. I always do.
Good, good. They needed a beating. Will you roll one after that delectable meal? That was so wonderful.
If you say so.
I'm sorry you didn't like it. I thought it was
I did like it, you dork. So yeah, so they make it sound like it's a rare visit, but maybe it's a rare visit to Florida. Netanyahu has been to this country 5 times since Trump has gone in office, since Trump was in office, and Trump's been to Israel once. So that means in the almost a year that Trump's been in office, there's been 6 meetings between the two. You think it's really crazy, and there are a lot of other people you can watch that will give you a lot more of the facts, and different little names and different things said one way, or different factual events and names and places and things like that. Like those all exist, but at the end of the day, does it even matter anymore? How many more things do you have to see before you realize something else is going on? You know, I don't know. It seems weird because most of you claim to be Christians and don't know shit about it. Like I'm really, really struggling with this one because I know this is such a huge piece of it. It's going to be, even if you're like, oh, look at all these people that are Christians that are waking up to Israel and the Zionists and the blah, blah. If you're still a Christian, that means they can still use it against you. They still have you mind controlled. And it's just weird to me to think about, like, like I was listening to that Bella chick that I talked about. She's good at what she does, right? But she's a super Christian, and she was talking about how, you know, the Jews, they're so bad. They think Jesus is boiling in a vat of excrement, and she's saying all these things, and it's like you're not saying it like how ridiculous it is. Our Jesus, that's how you think, and that's what's so strange to me is it's like again, when do you like get grow up? When do we grow up and start looking at it from the grown up perspective, and we start saying like, fuck these guys, they're lying, they're shitty, they're whatever. Let's move past it. I don't know, man. It's 2026. Like I keep saying, Ange, 2026. Let's do things a little differently. Why don't we just try them my way? You don't even have to do it for all of 2026. I would imagine if we just did things my way for like 3 months, we would know whether it was working or not. They created 2 religions and pit them against each other. Well, yeah, that's what I keep trying to say and have been saying for such a long time. And, and I I'm not like trying to throw you under the bus or anything. Truly, I appreciate your perspective and you being here, and I ask, like, how do we break through that religious control that someone like you still suffers from? You still believe in Jesus. You still believe in God. You still have the Bible Belt mentality in there somewhere. And so it's like, that to me is such a dangerous aspect of things. And I don't, how do you? You've been here on enough feeds already to know that I'm cracking that code. And the Jesus narrative is not real. You have to know that by now. And so I wonder, like, at what point do we, like, how do we crack that in someone like you? Because that's always going to be an obstacle. That's always going to be a way that they divide us. So it's extremely important that we overcome this. We live in the concept of forgiveness, not religion. That doesn't even make sense, dude. You literally have told me that you've had conversations with Jesus. When you fell and you went through the window and you were, almost dying, and then when you were on drugs. Which to me is just a joke. Like, I've already said, like, how insulting that is to think that the real life God is ignoring all those Palestinians starving to death and have a drought on them, but let Algo take some drugs, and Jesus is like, oh, hey, what's up, Algo? Let me talk to you. Like, that's just a joke. He taught us how to forgive. Do you honestly believe that, though, Algo? You honestly believe Christian Jesus exists? You honestly believe that narrative at this point? Like, everything that I've shown you, everything we've gone through, it's clearly a Jewish fairy tale. But you're saying you believe it anyway. Knowing it's a Jewish fairy tale, you believe it still? Like, why? Why? Well, how does that work, dude? How do I get through that? I'm really trying to figure out how I can get through that. Because, I love my people. I love my Goyim. I want us to excel and live the lives we should live, and have lots of machines running around doing all the shitty jobs that no one wants to do, and everyone else is really happy and safe and comfortable, and there's no, I'm chosen by God and special, so I get to kill you wars going on. And I don't even, the idea of calling it a war, again, is just an insulting thing. Where's your ashtray? Okay. Seriously, this is such a weird thing, because again, I'll go, like, I'd love to know. Come on, man, you're smart enough to be able to engage. Does it make more sense that like, where's the justification that Jesus is hanging out with you and not appearing in front of Netanyahu and telling him to stop doing what he's doing? Do you understand, like, that the level of arrogance that you're exhibiting, and without meaning to? If we hadn't learned how to forgive our rapists, we would have been living in hell, letting it eat us up inside. Yeah, but you learned how to forgive them. How did Jesus have something to do with that? It's such a weird thing that you're saying. Like, Jesus sat by and watched you get raped so that it could teach you how to forgive your rapist? What kind of insanity is that, Algo? Was Jesus like, yeah, I was watching it happen, it was brutal, I know I could have just dinkle dinkle dinked and made things different, but I thought you had a lesson to learn. So, like, is that what was said to you? And you accept that as an answer? You weren't like, you know what? Fuck you, Jesus. I don't think there's a lesson that my children need to learn by being raped. I don't even think it's. Steph might be home. I don't even think it's like a thought, huh?
Okay.
You don't want to take it to her?
I already took it across the street.
Oh,
Jordan devoured it. Didn't even get a fork. Fingers. Shoving it in his mouth. Devoured it like he hasn't eaten in 3 weeks.
not my chair. We're not talking about a kid. I mean, we are, but we're not. And if that kid was see, okay, so we got this perfect situation of what we're talking about here. Like, it's this young black kid who, I mean, we've known him since he was like 14 or maybe 12. I don't know. How old was Jordan when he first walked by? Nathan was young. Nathan was like 8. Nathan just ran up and jumped. Hey.
Was Nathan even 8?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. The God we meet on LSD shows us how insignificant we are in the bigger picture of the universe.
13 or 14.
Okay, but that's not, again, that's not, Algo, that's not answering the question. That's more of sort of validating what I'm saying. LSD does that. LSD shows you the insignificance and all that stuff. Like, that's the stuff that we all, that's what a bad trip can do for you. Good trip too, I guess, but depending on. It's funny, I used to hate acid because it would make me like have these bad trips and like, come face to face with death, kind of like the edible did, but even more so because it was a psychedelic. But at the same time, like, if it didn't do that, I'd be like, it didn't work very well. But again, I just don't understand the value in what you're saying, Algo. What does what you're saying even? How does it matter? The God that exists is to show you how insignificant you are, and what is that? What lesson is that? I mean, don't you think it's more important to show you that you're important? You're not insignificant, or at least you don't have to be. It's weird, right? I mean, I just don't understand. Like, it feels like, what it feels like. It feels like always growing up, and even my wife will say it to me, and it's like I'm the immature one, and and you'll have even dumbasses come in here in the comments and be like, "Oh, you're trying to blame everyone else, trying to blame God for the blah." And it's like, no, that's not at all what's happening here. Definitely not God, because I don't believe in God, so I don't blame God for anything. But there's a reality here that gets overlooked. I mean, everybody can think what they want to think, but prior to October 7th, I didn't know anybody else saying Israel is about to do a false flag operation where they pretend they get attacked and then commit the genocide of all genocides, and I stake my career on it, and I'll stop doing videos and all that if I'm wrong. Can you point to anybody else who was saying stuff like that? As a matter of fact, everybody I knew was telling me that I'm wrong and I should be focused on something else. I should be focused on China. I should be focused on the World Health Organization. I should be focused, you know. And I just, you know, I'm meant to think like I'm not good enough and, I'm humble and I'm insignificant and I'm all this stuff. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, I cracked the fucking code long before everybody else did. And I literally can't go back and be like, yeah, I got this wrong. I got that wrong. I got this wrong. And then I just happen to luckily get this right. No, I've had an incredible track record. And if you could bet on what I've been talking about, you'd have been rich by now. I told you a week before Charlie was gonna get shot or got shot that something along the lines of a big shooter situation is going to happen here very soon. The Israel thing, I've been saying this for 10 plus years. 5 years since January of 2000, I made the declaration that I was going to focus almost solely on this, but I had been talking about it for years prior to that. And so, like, I'm supposed to think I'm insignificant, right? I'm supposed to think it doesn't matter. I'm definitely not supposed to think that I can change the world or that I can make things better or that my little piece of shit feed with 4 people watching it matters in any way. It doesn't matter. Nobody listens to you, blah, blah, blah. I'm supposed to think all that way. But I'll be damned if I'm sorry, I find that difficult. It would be one thing if I was wrong all the time and I was just some crazy guy who fell for every fucking convoy there was and Trump and yeah, well, I did vote for Trump, but then I changed my mind. Like I see this all the time. I see people saying shit like that. And that even reminds me of Flynn O'Quinn and all that shit. Where, you say things like, oh, prior to October 7th, I supported Israel, and I even supported Israel after that. But it wasn't until I started asking questions, and then the people were mean to me and treated me bad for asking questions. That's when I was like, hey, that's not okay. Or my neighbor who went through a really like a psychological sort of detox situation, and during the process, she went to a real dark place, and she said she was screaming and crying for Jesus, and Jesus never showed up. Jesus never helped. And it shook her. It made her question her faith, and she was really messed up from it. And you would think like the average person would say, "Oh, doesn't that make you happy that somebody is questioning their faith and coming closer to your side of things?" But it's like you're not at all coming closer to my side of things. I don't not believe in God because something happened to me, and I was let down, and I was disappointed, and my feelings were hurt, and God abandoned me. Or my disbelief in God literally has nothing to do with me. I have no personal, any sort of God let me down story because I never believed in God. So there never was a chance to be let down. But from a very young age, I remember hearing about the church raping children and thinking okay, so if children were getting raped in my house, as the father of the house, the man of the house, wouldn't I be responsible for that? Even if I wasn't doing it, but it was happening in my house and I knew it was happening, especially if I knew it was happening in my house. Wouldn't I be responsible for that?
Yes. Does that say 200?
Yes.
Why?
Don't remember. By the way, talking to anybody but Algo, if you want to throw me a couple dollars for the new year and for all the laughs and love and knowledge and all that I've shared with you over the years, I'd really appreciate it. We need it right now. We're in a bit of a spot. So if anybody wants to donate directly to the cause, just let me know. I would definitely appreciate it. Again, not Algo, because Algo's already, he's a good dude. You know, I don't like bragging about that shit. Like, I don't know if decorum says I'm supposed to be like, oh, Algo did this, Algo did that, but I don't think that's like, I don't know. Is that what you guys would want? Like, if you were to throw me a couple bucks, would that be like you would want me to say something? Fuck, man. I'm just so like, it's actually really scary, honestly, because there is no way that any of this gets better, right? You guys understand that, like, with all these Epstein files coming out, and the Israeli control of our system, and them buying up everything, all the social media networks, all the ways we communicate with each other, all of the everything. They are buying it up. They are buying up our society, and it's not even really being hidden. And then the guys like Peter Thiel and these guys with their monitoring softwares, and there's the secure community networks, and there's just, it really is nightmarish. And I yearn so badly for the days of the ignorance that the 90s and earlier provided. But you know what? I can't believe how much I so badly want to know what the 1900s, early 1900s, late 18s. I want to know what that time really was like, because I just don't believe it anymore. I don't believe any of it. I don't believe anything these lying ass friars tell us about our history, about our present, about any of it. They're doing stuff right in front of us. Yeah, it's really fucked up. I mean, again, like I said to my neighbor, or I think, like, you're finally questioning the narrative because something happened to you. The genocide that's taking place, the countless stories of clergy raping children, the starvation, just the horrendous shit. None of that shit made you question, hey, maybe God isn't fucking, like, none of that. It had to be what happened to you before you would question it. And that's, how impossible that is to make sure everybody has one of those experiences. How do we show, like, you don't have to experience the personal letdown, which I don't even, like, if I were to ask a Christian, if I were to pool Christians and I were to say, okay, you tell me how many times you've prayed for something and it's come true as opposed to it not come true. And I would imagine it's going to be like 99% of the time it didn't come true. There's that 1% of the time where they happen to pray for something. I pray I get a bike for Christmas, and they got a bike for Christmas. But it's like, how many more times do you need to be let down before? I always use this example, but so let's say the doorbell rings at 4 o'clock. You open the door like you normally do. You don't even really pay attention. You just open the door. And right when you do, boom, somebody blasts you right in the nose and goes and runs off. And you're like, what the fuck was that? Oh my God, this, that, and the other. Do you think even the next day, if the doorbell rang, you would you would go into autopilot and just go open the door like it was nothing? Or do you think even that next day you'd be cautious? But what if every day, like, how many days in a row would the doorbell have to ring at the same time and that same person be there punching you in the nose before you'd make an adjustment and be like, you know what, I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to look through the peephole. I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to open the door before you went up the door again. Is it like 3 or 4? Is it like 50?
No.
Less than that? More than that?
Way less.
Like 20?
No.
Like 5?
No. No.
The next day, would you open the door?
No.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, and yet they just keep finding shit on Trump. And you just keep opening the door. Go ahead, punch me, dude. I was expecting you. It was 4:01 and that doorbell hadn't rang. I was wondering what was going on. Yeah. Boom. Oh no, somebody punched me in the nose. That's what we do, right? Like, the religious people are the deception in and when it's been going on the entire time. The deception is you believing in the narrative to begin with. I mean, the funny thing about the Jesus narrative is like you literally don't believe magical powers, walking water, and
Oh, I do.
so crazy. Where you're like, like told Jesus in the fish story. Sorry. Prior to this one day, it almost seems like they had. Sorry. Prior to this one day, it almost seems like they had no problem feeding anyone, which doesn't make any sense. Like, how were all the followers being fed prior to the fish debacle, fish and bread thing? But what happened was they had gotten someplace, and the apostles were like, Jesus, hey, I know, but everybody's hungry, and we'd been you made everybody walk a long time today, and nobody had time to do any sort of fishing or hunting or foraging or not really sure how we're eating anyway, but nobody had time to get us the eats. And so Jesus was like, you know what? I am so fucking sick of this. Seriously. Seriously. How about this? Okay. Apostles, you just eat from the fish. You eat what you have, the fish and the bread you eat. You eat first and make sure you guys get your fill. And then put the scraps of the fish in the basket and the crust from the bread in the basket. And then set the basket out in front and they can eat from that. And that's literally what it says. Like it doesn't say that the fish was just multiplied into a whole bunch more fish and the bread was a bunch of loaves.
Well, it had to have.
Not necessarily.
You gotta use logic.
It could just be they were picking off the scraps and shit. And the scraps, didn't do shit. I don't know. And then the next day, they woke up and Jesus was gone because he was pissed and didn't want the people to be relying on him. Because again, they'd managed to feed themselves every other night, but that one night, because of exigent circumstances, they didn't have any food, and they were like, "Hey, JC, you know how you're like the leader."
It was theft.
Religious people want to sit back and wait for Jesus or whoever to fix everything. Well, that's because that's what they've been told to do. And the reality is,
put it in God's hands.
Well, if you believe that all of the bad in the world is being done by a supervillain, a supervillain with powers. You know, he has powers and his magic pitchfork and his gay suit and his little gay mustache, and because he's a gay guy. You know, or he could turn into the big scary devil, or he can be hot ass Elizabeth Hurley. But you know, that's just my fantasies in a movie. But like the devil, like we already all, whether consciously or subconsciously, we know that as regular humans, we stand no chance against a being of superpowered nature. Like we've seen Superman, we've seen X-Men, we've seen what mutants can do to regular humans. And not just a mutant, but the all-powerful super, like, you know, God that loves us gave the devil all this power for, you know, reasons. But that devil can just, you know, zap, 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 zap. You're all on fire. Zap, zap, zap. You know, because he's the devil.
Oh, sorry.
You're just being ridiculous. You'd be zapped too quick to even scream, girl. But because I got that steam heat. I got the steam heat.
Oh my God.
She loves when I sing to her and dance and shit. But like that, do you understand that by believing in the devil, you submit to the idea that we can't win without Jesus.
No, you gotta have Jesus.
Right. You need the superhero to combat the supervillain.
Faith, don't you know? Jesus.
The supervillain will wipe out everything. You saw what General Zod could do, right? The only way to beat General Zod was with fucking Superman. And that's literally the like the climax of so many movies along those lines, is that the end fight is always like guys with immeasurable powers and you know abilities and shit are punching each other, punchy kicky punchy, and it's always a really really extremely cut up fight scene. How much do you need? I would love to help you out. Everyone deserves a good new year. I don't ever want to tell people what I want from them. Whatever you can spare to give is what I would need.
Anything would help.
Right. What am I gonna ask for? Like three? I need like $500. I need like five. And you're like, dude, I meant like $20, $30. Like, I would never want to put somebody in that position. So.
Can you make these fireworks stop around here? That'd be cool. I'd take that.
What do you need it for? Well, whatever I need it for is my business. I don't need to tell anybody my business. It doesn't matter what I need the money for.
Definitely.
If I have money and you give money and then we put that money in a pool, how do you say I'm spending your money on this when I'm spending that money on that? That doesn't matter. If you give somebody something, what they use it for doesn't matter. You don't give people something with stipulations. You give people something and say, I hope this makes your...
like drugs or alcohol.
No, I'm buying Right. They're really doing a good job with the sanity thing.
Right. Like, the kind of piece of shit that you the whole time you're driving, stressed out, praying that the shit just make it there. Just give me any shit.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah, it's fun. Cause I got that steam
Oh
heat.
my god.
I got the
Please make it stop.
steam heat. I would like to know what I'm donating to.
Well,
That's cool. Then your name is Aaron King. Do you honestly think like, come on, dude, Aaron King? How about you just giving me my money back? Doesn't matter. That's
again,
all the tax
nothing
dollars
frivolous.
that's been taken from me to be given to you over the years. Just give that back to me. Fucking silly, man. How dare you? What? That's such an
I mean,
like
I
an
get what he's
invasive
saying.
thing.
I get what
No, it
he's
doesn't. Because
saying.
even if I was using it to buy drugs, so let's say I used your money to buy drugs and then my money that I have to pay the bills, would that matter? Or okay, so what if I used your money to pay the bills, but I used my money to buy the drugs? Would that matter? No, it doesn't matter.
You don't need money to buy the drugs. If you have money to pay the bills, pay the bills. And
Money
just let it
always
go.
helps out. It doesn't nobody is in a position, well not nobody, but most people aren't in a position to where some extra money wouldn't help them out. Extra money that would make it so I could take my kids and do something more, or that I could, pay this bill or pay that bill or
Pay
whatever.
both bills and not have to choose.
That would be nice to pay both bills, right? Like it just doesn't. I'm not going to give anybody a detailed itinerary of what you know what the plan is. This is what we're going to do, and then I'm going to pay it on this day. And fuck that.
Living
It's
expenses are ridiculous.
right.
It's two teenage boys.
It's
And
just
this
life.
lady.
Life is difficult. A name is an A, and A is guys. And what's your excuse? Well, my parents don't belong to a cult, so that's what I'm talking about. Your name is very synonymous with a cult. Now, if you're not a part of that cult, then that would be awesome. But, you know, Aaron King screams cult member to me. Sure. But if you had to choose, especially with the first name being Aaron, Moses' brother, Moses' big bro who built the fucking golden calf.
The voice piece.
Once, because Moses was like, you're fired.
Bitch, you built a calf?
You're fired.
What the fuck?
King is a very popular name. It is, but it's extremely popular in one community in particular. Listen, if you're not a fucking friar, then that's great. If you know anything about my feed and what I do, to pretend like you don't understand my trepidation and my skepticism, like you should be like, oh no, man, yeah, no, that's just my name, but I'm not. Like it should be no big deal. You would totally understand if you were in the circle, right? Now, if you're some
Right, it's
douchebag,
not personal.
right? If you're some douchebag who wants to play, then you'd be there. Yeah, like, who the fuck? I don't know who the fuck you are. I know who's presented to me, and I know how much shit I get compared to most people. So, again, I would think you would understand more than anything. Hey, stop it. I got that steam heat. I got the steam heat. How about every time I see you get upset, I'm going to sing steam heat. Would that help? I got the Steam heat. I got the steam heat. I got the steam heat. Steamy and heaty and steamy and heaty. I don't know the rest of the words. If you admit that you are from Jewish heritage, which you are, I will send money. Again, I don't understand. If I was from Jewish heritage, why would I hide it? That argument just never makes sense. You guys try to say that like it's a viable thing, but if I could say I was from Jewish heritage, and then I could be like, and I'm so proud of myself for, I'm already proud of my anti-Semitism. I'm already proud to expose this and talk about this and say everything I say. But the validity that would come to my argument if I could say that I escaped said cult because I came from said cult, that would make my job so much easier and better. I would, like, I don't understand why I would ever hide that fact. Such a dumbass argument. I'm filing for big, usually can't catch replay. I've never seen you ask for money, so I was concerned. Yeah, I don't ask for money. It's not, I don't like need money like I'm, you know, destitute and I've got, the bill collector. I mean, we're close. We're definitely close. But like, I'm just saying, hey, share some goodwill. If you watch my shit and you appreciate what I bring to the table, throw a couple bucks my way. Hey, why not? I never asked you before. Probably won't ask you again.
How many streaming, like, Netflixes and Hulus and shit do you subscribe to and not watch?
And definitely don't get from any of them what you get from me. I'm proud of what I do here. I'm proud of the information that I share and the lights that I turn on. Wasn't your parents Jewish? Wasn't your parents Jewish?
No, he would have been our mitzvah and money to sit on.
Right. I would just get, if we needed money, I would just get some of my gold out of my little bag. You did ask for money for your son's enlarged heart, though. Yeah. Wow. See, that's what I mean. Like,
that was like,
the funniest thing
6
is,
years
oh, that
ago?
no, it was way longer than that.
7 years
No,
ago?
longer than that.
Really?
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But see, it's like, this is you acknowledging that everything I've said about you is 100% true, right? You're trying, because you can't bring up something recently that I've, quote, done. But when we honestly thought there was something wrong with our kid and we were going to need to do more, we posted it. As soon as we knew it wasn't a thing, we changed the GoFundMe to something else for a friend's house that had burnt down and ended up raising her like $500, of which we saw none of it. But this is
scumbags.
This is what I mean. Like, when you let the trolls do their thing, when you let the trolls talk, they out themselves, right? They always out themselves. They're just so stupid. And to again, let's just say I was a bad guy and I was the scammer. If the only thing that you can bring up is from 10 fucking years ago, that sort of says a lot, doesn't it? And then there's literally like
nothing else.
Well, but that's not even a thing. That wasn't even a thing. There was a legitimate medical concern, and when it went away, we didn't take any of the money that was raised and sent it to somebody's house who had literally burnt down. Like, it's just awesome that you are so obsessed with me that this is what you do, and you acknowledge that you've been Right, you've been stalking me for at least 10 years. That says a lot. I was just offering to help you, but you showed that you don't really need it. Yeah, I bet.
Holly's house that burned down that time?
Yes. Yes, it was. And what about your failed book, too? What about the failed book? What about it? The thing where we did the video about Dr. Phil? I don't think we ever asked for money for the book, did we?
I don't know. If we did, we didn't get any.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Desperate. Because somehow me is more important than the bigger picture. And you know, again, guess what? I haven't been 100% successful. I tried a book and it wasn't successful. Oh, how dare I? What you do is be a troll who makes fake profiles to live for somebody else. And again, notice how this person doesn't deny that they're a cult member, that they're a metzitzia genocidal cult member.
Of Jewish ancestry, they would send you money.
King has been hanging in the weeds for 10 years just to fuck with you, right? Exactly. Like that's the thing that they don't understand. Enlarged hearts don't just go away, right? Because he didn't have an enlarged heart.
It was being misdiagnosed. We went for a second opinion, got more testing done.
Yeah.
Jackass.
And the thing is, you know all of it. If you know the little bits, then you know all of it.
You just don't remember.
No, you're just saying the parts that you want to say to fit your narrative. Well, enlarged hearts don't just go away. Exactly. So it couldn't have been an enlarged heart. It had to be a misdiagnosis, like we said the whole time.
That doctors do.
Right. All the time. And then again, when it was misdiagnosed, we immediately transferred the money to somebody else to help people.
Holly Allen, look her up.
How do you donate money to me? You can reach out to my email. I'll put my email in the description. It's just Guy Williams.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'll put it in the description when I'm done. You didn't get any money from the book because it legitimately sucked. Oh, does it? You know all about it too, don't you? Oh, it legitimately sucked, yet it had 500 pre-orders. Yep. You know something sucks when it has 5. So you had a GoFundMe for something that was false. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, I had a GoFundMe for something that was false.
Not at the time we created it, was it false?
Right. Yeah, no, we
it was not under false pretense.
It wasn't under false pretense. But see, again, like, this is, instead of denying being a pedophile, instead of talking about the genocide that's going on, the bigger picture stuff, this person is desperately trying to sort of, oh, so what you're saying is with this, about something that happened 10 years, let's just say it was a scam. Let's just say I was somebody else. But I was able to scam some money to give to somebody else for their house burning down 10 years ago. And since then, I haven't had any sort of scams. Then does that take away from the fact that Israel's committing genocide? That they practice ritualistic sexual abuse on their own? Does that
trying to get a rise?
Because he told us money. Because we're big scammers. But to think that this person is so obsessed with me that they're rattling off details about shit again, not talking about how we should kill pedophiles, not talking about how we should end the Israeli control and the fryer this and that. None of that. Trying to make it sound like somebody who tried to do something and didn't succeed was somehow doing a negative. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yep, now it's the government phone bill. Yep, because that's what government phones do. Government phones get weird signals, I guess. I mean, this is just so goofy. The Guy-Fi? Yeah, that's funny. The Guy-Fi is having... No, it's just what happens. You know, how many videos of mine have you seen where it's fucking up in weird ways that just don't happen to other people? You know, this Aaron King person is exactly who I said he was. He's a piece of shit friar. And he's here to just try his best to keep us from talking about what's actually going on. The much bigger picture in the world. You know, this guy doesn't want us to, like, my end goal, what I've learned over these years, what I've come to the conclusion is, if we can't eliminate the cult altogether, then we definitely need to start focusing on protecting the Jewish children. And until we start protecting the Jewish children from monsters like this piece of shit, then they're just, you know, the situation is just going to be what it is. I should get an extension cord. You have been at Camber for literally off a fake Android. Yep, it's fake. You guys, you know how people get those fake surgeries all the time? Yeah, right? That big fake injury. You got that big fake scar that I put on every single day. Starts right here.
We found this great setting.
And then goes all the way up to the middle of my hand.
Sets the makeup on his arm all day.
Right.
Amazing.
Because every once in a while I pull off my brace and show you, but I keep the makeup on there just in case. Yeah, gotta love those fake injuries. You know, you can fake your way into surgery, right? Doctors just love doing surgeries that you can just fake your way into it.
Oh, you could fake your way through disability court too.
Right. You can they love handing out that shit.
And all of their doctors that they send you to.
Right. Oh man, they're all so stupid. Yep, I did. I faked my way through an injury and got surgery multiple times.
By choice, just fake it.
Just so I could barely make it in life and not, you know. Yep. Oh yeah, that's so I come online on a Facebook, on a YouTube live and be like, hey, I need money. It's tough. Boy, am I winning. Good thing I'm faking such an injury. I fake it so often that we'll be sitting here and like, I'll be like, oh shit, I think my wife's looking at me. I should make noises like it hurts. Right? All those times when I fake, or during when I'm faking it when I'm asleep. I'm so good at it. Again, notice how Aaron King is not denying being a pedophile. Notice how Aaron King is not denying being an Israeli piece of shit. He's just desperately trying to make, I don't even know, like, the only shit he's talking about is shit that I let people know. If I was, there was some sort of something to hide, then you wouldn't know about it. But this is what this pedophile does. Aaron King, see if you can find him. Aaron King 1695. This is somebody who deals in child exploitation materials and you know, supports the worst of the worst things. This is more than likely an Israeli operative. And they're the worst people in the world, man. These are the people that are pushing for genocide. These are the people that you know, support Trump and all this other shit. Like, this is a piece of shit. And just like how, you know, you see how I'm like addressing the stupid claims and all that stuff, you know, the fake, you know, this is fake, blah, 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 blah. This person doesn't do that because they can't do that. Because it doesn't dawn on them to do that. You know, this is if you open the books on Israel, you demonize Israel kind of stupid. This is, I go live not really knowing what's going to happen, hoping that shit like this happens because it makes everything so much easier. It's so much harder to talk about, you know, the infiltration and the desperation and all that shit without the example here. I'm so glad you did that. Enjoy the court papers. I will take everything you have. I bet you will. Don't you think if you could, you would have by now? Because again, I'm the guy that thinks we should kill your kind. Right? I'm the guy that openly says we should kill pedophiles and overthrow the friars. Like you don't why is this guy so mad? What's his issue? Other than he's a friar and a pedophile, why would anybody be, I'm going to take everything you have? Why would anybody be like that? Why would anybody obsess over me for admittedly well over 10 years now? Trying to learn every little detail they could. And funniest thing is, after all this time, they still haven't found shit. This kind of obsession and you still can't find anything. Like it's an amazing amount of stupid. It's an amazing amount of desperate. And you can only act like, I can't imagine who else it could be other than pedophiles. Especially when they don't ever deny being a pedophile. And that's literally what anybody would do in that situation. You call somebody a pedophile, they're going to get mad at you. They're going to be like, why the fuck would you say that about me? Blah, blah. But not Aaron King, 1695. These friars revel in that shit. It was done to him at a young age, and then he was forced to do it to another child at a an older age. Still younger by all standards, but and that creates a piece of shit on this kind of level. You know, they're just awful pieces of shit. When they were 8 days old, their family had a party, and everybody came by to watch as they were mutilated and molested by the Moyle. And everybody made a joyful, a situation out of it. And then when they got to be, 4, 5, 6, something like that, the real abuse started. But I mean, again, again, I just can't understand. Well, I'm trying to understand stupidity, and I guess that's my fault. I'm sitting here going, I can't understand why you would be this stupid. Again, if I had Jewish roots, hiding it is is stupid. I should be expressing my Jewish roots proudly because I can say how proud I am to have left the cult. But, nothing else makes sense. Crazy how these stories are your memories. Dude, your life is me. Your memories are me. You watch me. You hide in the shadows and beg for my attention. You've been doing it for over a decade. At least my life is my own. I don't think he's a pedo. Why do you say that for people who you disagree with? Denying is silly. Why waste time on something obviously false? Yeah, that makes sense. That's how that works. So, all the false shit that comes my way, if I don't answer it, then I'm avoiding it. I'm trying to understand who would do this. Because if you ask these people why are they so obsessed, they don't have any reason. So you have to sort of deduce it on your own. Well, who is going to be so mad at me that they're going to make fake profiles, they're going to stalk me, they're going to, I'm going to record this, timestamps and all this other bullshit. Who is going to obsess over me that much? And then, especially somebody going to obsess over me that much, but then hide their identity. When you look at what I do and what I talk about, what's been the stated purpose for a long time, which is, overthrow Israel and the Israeli control and kill all the pedos. That hasn't changed for a very long time. To think how that could motivate anyone to obsess over me in some sort of negative way, I can't answer that question other than they must be pedophiles. They must be Israelis. And so when you ask them, well, why are you here? And they don't answer you, and then you come up with your own reason, and they go, oh, well, I'm not going to deny that. Well, if everything else I do is so important, and everything else I say is so important that you remember it, and how come me calling you a pedophile wouldn't be important enough for you to deny it? How come you can't explain what the obsession is then? That put it in to make it make more sense. It makes sense. As much as it's weird and shit, it makes sense. If you're a pedophile and an Israeli pedophile, a friar, any of those combinations there, it makes sense why you would obsess over me. I get it. The last thing you want is not just someone like me, but me getting any sort of platform because I'm going to destroy you. But outside of that, I just can't, I can't logically put any sort of spin on it that makes sense. Not hiding. You're one that's hiding in your attic. Like, again, that's the best he could come up with. He's not hiding his identity. I'm the one that's hiding in my attic while I go live. I'm not doing a very good job of hiding then, am I? I'm not fake. You're just mad I won't give you money. I'm telling you, man, these inbred friars, they start getting mad, and the madder they get, the less sense they make. They just start rambling on. So again, this shit is all okay to say. These falsehoods are okay to say. But to deny being a pedophile, that's not important. No, more important things to say, like, you're just mad because I won't give you money. You don't have any money. Well, Aaron King has money. We have to admit, King has money. The Israeli government, their Saving Every Child program means the Israeli government puts money into a trust account that for every child, they get money every month, every year, whatever. And then when they turn 18, they have access to that money. That's why they all have so much money at 18. On top of the bar mitzvahs and all that other shit, right? Which, of course, I should have, but I don't, right? But like this is, this is what they do. This is what they do. I love when they act like denying being a pedophile would be any different than typing some other thing in this. Like, denying being a pedophile isn't like you got to run up 10 flights of stairs or something. It's not like it's going to harm you in any way, or it's going to, the only thing it would do would be like a normal response, because normal people get upset about shit like that. But yeah, at this point, if you spend not just any time, but most of your time, most of your life, if I go live and you're always here in the background and you know all your details, all that shit, like, I must be doing something right. No, you're definitely terrified. King needs to go watch A-Team or something. No, he needs to go do what I suggest every one of them do at the end of. I don't say like jest. You guys understand? I mean that wholeheartedly. I sincerely hope you pedophiles absolutely kill yourself. And like I say, I mean, I am. You have earned that moniker. You've had enough opportunity to explain why you're here otherwise. And yet you never seem to. That's the other thing that you never want to do. Denying being a pedophile is something that would be, carrying too much weight up the stairs. That would be too tedious for you. And also explaining, since it's not that, what it is you're here for, that one's another one of those things that's just off limits. Oh, look, the cowards deleting their messages now. Why are you deleting your message? Did you realize it made you look stupid? I would think if that was the case, you might actually just stop talking altogether, but you know how arrogant you are. You never see these guys condemn, these trolls of mine condemn any of the things I'm talking about. Why would you think it's anything but Israelis? It's fucking New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve. He is so obsessed with me that he's here and not doing something else. It's 10:30 or 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve, and instead of being out and doing anything with anyone else in the world, he's here watching me. That is a level of obsession that is, it speaks extreme volumes. Like, it's one thing if you're like, no, man, you're a kindred spirit, and I'm the weirdo, I'm the black sheep in this world, and when you go live, I feel like, I found somebody who's on the same page as me, and I don't usually find that. That's one thing.
Or even I'm surfing Facebook because it's.
No, I'm talking about my regulars. My regulars. But it's another thing, like, to pretend like you hate me, and yet you're morning, noon, or night. Doesn't matter when I do it. You're gonna be here and beg for my attention. On New Year's Eve, you have nothing else in this world. You don't even like anything. It's New Year's Eve, and what you're gonna do is go into the new year watching the guy that you hate. I hate you, so I'm gonna watch you. This is actually a lot more telling than I realized, man. What a fucking loser. What an absolute loser. Somebody was in New York today watching the feed, and they were like, "Man, I'm being followed by a group of Jews right now." And they seem to be like mad at me for something. And I was like, "Oh shit. Turn the volume up." He had headphones in, so he took out his headphones and he turned the volume up. And I started talking about, Bottom of Darkness and metzitzia and all that, and suddenly they turned off. He was like, "Yeah, that got rid of him really quick." They don't like that truth, man. They don't like intelligent Goyim. We're supposed to be dumb Goyim. And when you know more than you're supposed to know, again, look, they're not going to actually, intelligently engage or deny or anything. It's just going to be weirdo crybaby obsession. If I leave him on here, he'll say more and more and more that proves my point. I literally, I can't tell you about anyone else from 10 years ago. Maybe Charles, but that's because he's, in my life. But
He's been in our life for almost 12.
Right. I can't. 10 years ago, you were doing this, and then there was this. Oh, and then there was this, and then there was this. Like,
So maybe James Luque or Mike Liker might have been in your life 10 years ago.
I'll go was.
I'll go.
Yeah.
But that's probably close to
Yeah,
it.
but I couldn't tell you
Anything about their life.
right what they were doing at that time. A GoFundMe that they had started.
Well, even if you could say something about their life back then, you couldn't say shit about their life now because you don't talk to them anymore, really.
Yeah, I do.
You know? Do you?
Yeah, Jeffrey James. I don't talk to you. I don't know if Liker is even still alive.
No, he is. He doesn't really come up on my newsfeed ever, but I saw him not too long ago.
He went a little nuts.
I think he's sober now.
He was a good dude, but he went a little nuts. I mean, it's strange because, like, like I could talk about all of these things that are these big picture things that none of us actually have access to, and at the end of the day, we're we get what they give us. But to talk about the actual factuals about what's happening on my feed, the stuff that I personally deal with. It might not seem like as big a story as the Trump attacking the ship or, Netanyahu this or that, but it's all in the same vein. You know, who has the capabilities, the technical capabilities to do what these guys do to my feed? To obsess over why would anyone obsess over me for 10 years? My wife doesn't even obsess over me like these guys do. Like, what sense does that make? In the world that you live in, can any of you even relate to that? Can any of you say that 10 years ago plus, somebody that you watched videos of somehow hurt your feelings? And so since then, you have made it your mission to, you're gonna make fake profiles, and you're gonna send text messages, and you're gonna make videos and make fake pages, and just all the. Can anybody say they've done anything even close to that? Like, even all of you crazy girlfriends out there, can you say that even 10 years later, you're still obsessing over one guy?
Sorry. No.
That is just so wild to me. And I just refuse to accept that there really are just regular people that obsessed with me.
No dude is worth that. No chick is worth that. No
Nothing
person
is
worth that.
Right.
Point blank, period.
Clap when you say it.
I can't.
Point blank, period. You got to clap on the syllables. So I can't assign that to any specific one person or even group. Like, it seems too much. Why would anybody do that? Other than Israel and the system, not only that answers, like, why, but also, like, who has the capabilities to do the things that they have done. The Guy Williams Sucks video is one of the most telling things yet. And I don't focus on it enough, but for the last couple years, I've been saying, look, if anybody isn't Israeli, isn't some piece of shit friar, and is just some regular person, and you hate me that much, make a video that's called Guy Williams Sucks, and I'll find it, and you do exactly what I'm doing, where you just talk to the camera like I'm talking to the camera, but you make it about how fucking shitty I am. And you know, and again, I'll play it live. You know, let's see. I'll play it live. So the comment section is not shut off yet because it looks like it's still. Wow, good comeback. Craig was the last comment, even though his comment after that, where he retracted it, doesn't seem to show up here. Good comeback, Craig was the last comment. So it's possible that you guys can still comment, and I'm just a little paranoid. But like I say, this to me is fucking dumb. It's just Wallace. It's just Brian Wallace and James Napier and you know blah 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 blah. All these Scott. It's all these fucking characters. It's all these people that are just obsessed with me. Again, the guy who thinks we should kill pedos and overthrow the friars. And so they're obsessed with me and they want me to stop saying these things. Why? How does that begin to make sense on any realistic level? To me, the only way that makes sense is if it's friars and it's pedos. You know, I can't stand Alex Rosen. I think he's a racist, a supremacist, a pretty standard friar, actually. And he talks about all the time how he's friar. He doesn't renounce his pedophilic affiliation and all that shit. And I think actually he could probably catch a lot more friars than he does. But he doesn't. And I think the Secure Community Network has a lot to do with it. And I think they have measures in place nowadays to prevent them from being caught as much as they should be caught. Because if you look at the early predator catchers things, they made up a significant percentage of the number caught. 40, 50, 60% of the people caught in any given sting were them. And we're talking about 2% of the population. Like, that doesn't happen. Right? Not just naturally, normally. You know, they would be caught every once in a great while if that was the case. But Alex Rosen is a piece of shit. I don't like the guy at all. I think the way that he's revolutionized the hunter game, the way that he approaches these pedophiles and he gets them to admit to shit, and like I think he's fucking amazing at what he does. But I still think he's a piece of shit friar. That being said, you know, what he does, his obsession with exposing pedos and all that, that buys him a pass from me. I might not like the guy. I might not like what he stands for. He's a Trump supporting piece of shit, this, that, and the other. But I'll be goddamn, man, he's cleaning our fucking community. So why would I waste any of my time going like what am I gonna I'm gonna be one of those people that figures out who the person being caught is and calls them. I've seen it happen multiple times when he does like a live catch. And there was one time where he went to this like gay furniture store.
You see this one?
So get it all out. While you're in the comment section, I'll be focusing on what really matters.
Football?
Like how I feel when I'm waking up in the morning. Like showing up for people I love.
What?
My health is my focus.
No, it's not.
And my body is nobody's business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but our healthcare system is...
There are a lot of opinions about weight. It takes strength to focus on health. You have to hear the beginning of the commercial where he starts. It's like, what?
Yeah, no. If you were, if you hadn't been so protected your whole life, you wouldn't be what you are right now.
Don't talk about my body. Don't look at me funny. Like, it's.
How about you grow up and get over it? You know?
I'm not unhealthy.
Yes, you are. You are absolutely, completely unhealthy. But like, say a word. I don't care what word it is. Don't commit a crime, which means you then have to go to jail, which means you put money into. What's wrong with you? And the crazy thing is, have you ever heard any of the so-called leaders of the black community say these same things? Have you ever? I haven't. I've never heard a leader in the black community put it to the black community and say, don't you dare commit crimes so you can fatten the pockets of the friars because some dumbass white dude says a fucking word. Those videos are all over. Some white person's mouthing off, and then they say Nick this, and they get attacked. And the comment section is full of praise. It reminds me of the riverboat brawl. You know, that thing that completely disappeared? You guys remember the riverboat brawl? Which was an embarrassment across the board. Even the black people were a complete embarrassment. Especially the fact that the folding chair became a symbol. Some white woman who was already on the ground with a folding chair, that was a symbol of resistance.
That was fucked up.
Right. It's so stupid.
What's wrong with you?
But the crazy part is that incident wasn't isolated. That group of people had been doing that same thing for the previous year. They've been doing it a bunch of times. And this was just the culmination of it. And the story is disappeared when it turned out that the names of the people on the boat, those white people, sure were suspiciously
Not white.
chosen. I forget what their names were, but they were like a Berg or a Stein or a Man or something like that.
On boats?
And that, you know, that's when the story disappeared.
Somewhere nice.
What I don't understand, how come nobody's talking about Trump? Does Putin have pictures? Does Putin still have the pictures of Trump blowing Bubba? How has that gone away? You know, there's a picture of Trump grabbing Bill's dick, and he's looking out laughing, and Bill's like, ha ha ha. That picture exists. You can look it up. Trump. Trump grabs Bill's dick.
Gross. I mean, is it one of those where it's like, yeah, he could have been, but
You tell me.
wait a second.
He's literally like, he's got it in between his fingers.
I mean, if his
I mean, if well, okay, so Trump's grabbing his dick. I mean, you can literally see like he's pinching it.
No, I don't want to talk. I'm done.
I think I would rather take your word for it. Right there, that's the picture. Guess how many pictures you'll find of me grabbing a dude's dick?
15. 0.
7. Do you guys? Do any of you guys have it? And you know what I think is always such an interesting element of this So if I was famous, especially if I was famous from a young age, and I was famous while I was single, do you understand the amount of stories that would exist of my exploits? I would have tried to bang every one of the like the only person I can the only person I can ever compare what I would have been like to is John Mayer. Because if you remember, John Mayer was slanging all of them. Like John Mayer had Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox at one point. Like John Mayer was that guy. And there would be a long list of there just would be absolute slut. And it would have been if I would have had the celebrity to get me into the pants of the hottest girls, it definitely wouldn't have the hottest women. There definitely wouldn't have been any girls in that mix. If I had access to the you know the A-list Hollywood bitches, I would have been trying Halle Berry and Nicole Kidman, and I'd have been doing everything I could have just to look at this. I would have been that guy. And yet none of them are like that. Go look at Trump's old broads. Go look at Marla Maples. Wow, is that an ugly bitch? Like she is fucking ugly. I do have to admit, Ghislaine's pretty hot. I definitely would have done some bad things to Ghislaine. She had some tig old bitties too for a younger or a smaller looking broad. She wasn't like she wasn't big, but she did have some. She had a body on her. I gotta give credit where credit's due. I think Ghislaine was hot, but at the same time, I've been programmed through years of Hollywood to think that Jewish-looking women are attractive, and vice versa. You don't realize it, but seeing people on TV is immediately attractive to you.
I always look at actors, and that's kind of how I judge them. If I saw them in real life, would I think they're hot, or is it just because they're on TV?
You can't separate that.
And actually, he was way better looking, Danny, in real life than he is on TV. Like he looked like a real person, and he was actually kind of attractive. But on TV,
But you didn't see him in real life.
He's not.
You saw Danny, fucking NKOTB Danny. He still has an aura about him.
Stand right there at the basket. That's where he was.
Right,
Like,
but that's not in real life. That's not a guy that's at the grocery store. That doesn't, that it isn't. You're not in that environment, the exciting kind. Like that's Danny from fucking. Please don't go, girl. That's not a real life. You can't compare that. But that's I think there's a short few Hollywood actors who are actually like really attractive looking, and Brad Pitt is fucking gorgeous. It is what it is. George Clooney's another good looking guy.
He used to be.
He still is. He for an older guy, he's a good looking. But that's also you're saying that seeing them through a lens. You don't know what it's like when you're, eye to eye with that guy and you're like, what the fuck? I thought you weren't, these are little bitty guys a lot of the time. No offense.
Danny was like 5'9", 5'10". He wasn't tiny, but he wasn't 6 foot.
Shit like that.
Let's see.
It was always weird for me too, because I didn't look like anybody. Normally when people compare, you judge how good looking you are by the actors that you're compared to.
He's 5'10". I was right.
Huh?
He's 5'10". I was right.
He's listed as
I'm
5'10".
good like that. No, like I said.
You don't know what kind of lifts he has in his shoes. You have no idea, girl. Those Wahlbergs make no sense. Like New Kids on the Block wasn't this band that was driving around the country playing in bars and shit until they got discovered. They were a manufactured creation by Ron Perlman, I believe, right? I know he did In Sync. Thought he was but like it's really crazy to think about it, like cuz you're told, especially from the musician standpoint, like if you want to make it, you got to get out there and do it. But very, very few of those bands actually did that. Especially when you think about the fact that most of the bands that were like that are showcased to us, at least a lot of them, are teenagers. So they had just gotten out of school at 18. When were they traveling across the country building their audience? And it just doesn't exist. And when you think about
bands in high school that, they did all their gigs on the weekends, still went to school.
Yeah.
Built up their name, locally.
Yeah, there was always the one or two, but again, those were, we don't realize it, but those are the kids that came from a lot of money. There was money behind them that most people don't have.
Mike was in a successful band.
Huh?
Mike was in a successful band. They opened for a lot of big bands.
Sure, they were in a successful band. Nobody could name a single fucking song they play. But that's it. Like, these guys aren't the guys that make it. Like, there are plenty of people out there that are small bands that open up for whatever, but they don't make it. Only a select few make it, and they're generally, especially when you're talking about the rap industry, and especially before computers and shit and the internet. How the fuck were any of these guys discovered? Where would they have been discovered? The local talent show? I was thinking about Michael Jackson the other day, and like how it's weird how it doesn't get talked about, but like, talk about a fucked up childhood. His dad used to make the kids all practice, and because they were gonna be the Jacksons, and again, they were discovered at a talent show, a local talent show, and then they were taken, and like, just such a weird fucking existence.
Well, even Joe talking about playing with, his siblings, in the street in front of the whatever, and looking up, and Michael would be in the apartment above the studio, sitting in the window, watching all the kids, because he wasn't allowed to come out and play with all of them. Like, just sad. His dad made him stay inside.
His dad was a fucking monster.
That's why the rest of them got to play with Joe in the neighborhood kids.
MJ was 5. No, he wasn't. Was he? No. Was he?
When he started, I think so. Yeah.
I thought they exaggerated. I thought they made him seem younger than he actually was. I thought they presented him as like 2 or 3 years younger than he actually was. I don't know. It's all bullshit, though. Our entire narrative is bullshit. You know, it's really, and if it's not, then it should be exposed as not being. You know, with all the conspiracies out there, you would think it wouldn't be that hard to like tackle it. You could easily prove, you know, one way or another, one thing or another. You could attach things, and those things would be extremely well received. You know, when Jesse Ventura did the conspiracy theory, that show was popular as shit. It didn't get canceled due to lack of ratings. By the way, Happy New Year to all y'all. I'm really hoping that 2026 is that fucking year. I mean, it is a significant year, whether you know, like for me, I don't believe in history. I don't believe in characters like Ben Franklin and George Washington, and I think a lot of that is just bullshit. Alexander the Great and all that, like all that stuff. I think it's all just Napoleon. I think these are all just bullshit characters. But as far as the narrative goes, you know, this is the 250th anniversary of America. Like, this is going to be a significant year, regardless of whether it is for us personally or not. Thank you, Mary. Appreciate it. But you know, I keep begging my wife, you know, can we please? We've been doing things not my way. I'd say your way, but then of course I'd be wrong. But it's been going not my way for the last 20 fucking years. 20 goddamn years. Can't believe it. 20 years. But is there any way we could do it my way? Just for the begin, like if 3 months into 2026 doing it my way isn't working out, then let's go back to doing it this way that we're used to doing it. But until then, like, can we give it a shot? Can we try things my way for 2026? It'd be nice, you know. Let's go into 2026 and pretend like we don't necessarily believe anything. We know of things, we know of ideas, we know of stories, we know of, you know, what maybe we're supposed to believe, but let's go into everything under the guise of like sort of fresh. Like you're being presented this story for the first time, and does it make sense? Does it fit? Does the narrative you're given fit what you think it should, or you know, if you think it, or does it, you know, does it work out? Does it make sense? If the thing doesn't make sense or it doesn't work out, let's try to dig deeper. I always say, like, if you can't debunk what I'm saying, if you don't have a better answer than I do, then I'm right. If your answer is the one that has, you know, if you have the final answer, then you're right, and I'm okay with that. Dude, Dan has been trying to blow me for like well over a year. Dan is on so many of these feeds just begging for attention. Who the fuck do you think that is? Please, can I suck your dick? Right. He's been here forever. I disagree with Guy on a bit of things, but disagreement is fine. Just no foul play in my book. I encourage you to disagree with me. My wife always gives me shit about it. You just want to fight with people. You just want to fight. Oh, you say to them, don't agree with me. Tell me what you disagree with. No, I'm not looking to fight. I'm looking to learn. If you tell me what you disagree with, chances are I'm probably going to have something to respond to you with. Then you should be able to override that. And then if I have anything else that comes up, you should override that with your way of thinking. And if your way of thinking ends up being the right thing, well, then I've learned and I can adjust my presentation to now incorporate the new correct way of thinking. That doesn't mean I want to fight most of what you say. Okay, cool. What don't you agree with? There's no hard feelings there. That makes things interesting. Nobody wants to sit there and it's not chicken fowl. It's fowl. Foul. It's just so weird, man. It's like again, if you can tell me how my way, which is everybody lays out their thing on the table and we just break things down. And it's not like a person, nobody takes it personally. We try to see which things make the most sense. And if your thing doesn't make sense, again, it's not personal. It's just that your thing doesn't make more sense than this thing does. And we just do things that make sense based on the agreed upon. We present it and figure it out. No faith required. We're going off of common sense and intelligence and reasoning. Why aren't we doing that? And if you can tell me why, we shouldn't do that and why just going, oh, well, God's got it. It's all in God's hands. Why is that a better solution to things? I'm all ears. I'd love to hear it. I'm going to disagree with you and I'm going to have, rebuttals. But if you're correct, you shouldn't mind that. You should welcome that. You should be prepared for that. So strange. It's so strange. I know that as humans, when we know something, when we have the secret, when we figure something out, we don't think, oh, I'm going to keep this to myself. We want to tell somebody. We want to know. We want other people to know that we know, and we want other people to know that secret so they can benefit from it as well. And that's how you should be looking at this thing. Like, our society constantly, our system constantly telling us to shut up and don't ask questions. That's not how things work. I'm a great example of this. I believe I'm right. I believe I'm onto something. I'm headed towards the truth. So what I don't encourage you to just shut up and listen. I encourage you to pick apart everything I'm saying with the finest tooth comb and let's work out all the kinks we can. And that's how you get to truth. And our system is the exact opposite, which tells you that they're not telling us the truth. They're not working with truth. They're trying to get us to fall for the narrative. 2,500 subscribers, 8 likes, 3 viewers. Come on, 2020. I was allowed to have thousands of views until September 11th. September 11th, 2025, everything changed. Let's override that shit. Come on, guys. I mean, I don't ever know, you know. I don't know if every single one of you takes 2 seconds to click share and then click Facebook and share on Facebook, and I don't know if you do that. I can hope you do. I can ask you to, but you know, I don't even know how many of you watching me every day are even subscribed. I assume most of you are. And you know, one of the best ways to see it for yourself, to see how fucked up things are for yourself, is to subscribe to the channel. Because you assume that if you subscribe to the channel and you click notifications, that when I go live, you'll get those notifications like you do with anybody else, like you should, like how computers work. You set the computer to this. Computer does this, and this. So you assume that's what's going to happen. And then you end up stumbling across, a feed 2 hours in or late, and you come in like, hey dude, what the hell? It didn't, because it won't do it. It's a good way for you to realize what's going on, seeing it, the evidence for yourself when it's being done to you. Remember, people don't care unless it's done to them. So this could be done to you. I never get notifications unless you send through Messenger. And I'd be willing to say currently Mary is probably one of my bigger fans, which makes me smile, and I hate saying it because I feel all weird. But I would say that especially in the last month, Mary has shown more love than most have. And so, it's one thing to say, you don't get, but do you get notifications for other people? Do you have it set for other people? Have you ever experienced anything like what you experienced with my feed? Thank you. I appreciate that, man. And I think everybody, the Karens, the Augos, the Marys, the people that I know are real people and have been here for a long period of time, will tell you that my feed works like nothing they've ever seen before. The interference that I get, the weird little glitches, the comment section getting shut off, the videos constantly being muted nowadays, the 2,500 subscribers and 5 watchers with 8 likes. You've never seen anything like this before. You've never tried to watch somebody's videos and it kicks you off and it puts you in a different video, or it just kicks you off the video, tells you the stream ended when you know it didn't. But that's what's happening. It's like they don't even hide it. It's almost like they're bragging. They want those few people who have caught on to see that it's fucking futile. Even though this guy has cracked the code and you've stumbled upon that guy, they're going to censor the fuck out of us to the point where it won't matter. So you go ahead and believe what you want to believe. All you're going to do is ostracize yourself to the people around you. You start saying, I think I found this guy who's figured things out. They're going to be like, yeah, right, just like the last guy, right? Just like this. Your family's going to be shitty to you because they see everything going on right now and they're terrified. Fear makes people act in really fucked up ways, man. Yes, I get BS notifications for people I don't even watch. I have my settings on to let me know all of your notifications, and you get none. Why do you suppose that is? How would you even go about doing that? Like, how would I go about doing that? Let's say I wanted to somehow prevent you from being able to get my notifications. How would I do that? How would I go about, what would be the purpose of it? But how would you like the things that happen on my feed? I don't even know how to do them. I don't know anybody else that talks about. I've never seen anybody else talk about. Oh shit! They muted. They froze the comment section again. And so the comments are still coming through from your guys' perspective, but not from my perspective. I've never seen it. Anybody else? Mary says it makes no sense at all. It does make sense, Mary. You got that. That's one of those things that we're all so used to saying, but you have to reprogram yourself because it does make sense. It doesn't make sense the way that we're told things work. It doesn't make sense the way that the official conservative standard way. That doesn't make sense. But when you start sprinkling it with some conspiracy, you sprinkle it with some conspiracy, it all makes a lot more sense. And that's something that's part of the retraining we have to do. I'm so guilty of it. I say it all the time and I have to catch myself and say, no, it does make sense. Everything makes sense. It just depends on how you look at it. It's unfair, I should have said. Yeah, it is. It sucks. But it's also what's expected. When you see an Ian Carroll with 1 million plus followers and he's on Joe Rogan a month after he appears in March of 2023, and within a month or two, he's already a guest on Rogan and shit like that. Like, that's the stuff that doesn't make sense. He's supposedly telling secrets. He's supposedly saying what isn't supposed to be said, and he's supposedly spilling the tea and blah, 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 conspiracy theories. And yet, his star is shining as bright as it ever has. He makes a great living off of his personality, off of the reach that he's allowed to have. If you go back and you look at the videos of mine where, I'm getting 8, 10, 12,000 views over a 2-hour, 3-hour period. And back then I only have 800, 700 followers. That doesn't make any sense. My numbers are better than everybody else's numbers at that point. Because it just shouldn't work that way. That is people going like crazy. Hey, check this guy out. Hey, check this out. Sharing and interacting. Guy shadow banned so notifications go unsent. Yeah, but it's something more. It's something different. Shadow banned is a term that gets thrown around a lot by people who are allowed to have hundreds and thousands of views. There's that guy, the guy that says, wouldn't it be crazy? Blah, 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 that guy. He's been complaining lately because he has over 1 million followers, and yet he's like 100,000, 200,000 views. And he's complaining about being censored. They let you 100,000 or 100. They let you get 1 million followers. They let you get 100,000 views to begin with. You don't get instantly censored right afterward. Who are you? How did you get to your position? Oh, you used to be in Canadian Parliament? Oh, that's interesting. And he's actually really good. He tells a lot of really good stuff and makes some really great videos where, again, you have to ask, like, it's amazing how so many of these guys are really expert video makers as well. They're really great at editing. They're really great at using copywritten other people's, videos and stuff that if I show or if I play it, I get blocked. It's like the people that have the review channels. How do you make money How do you have a big time review channel where you watch other people's talent and you talk shit and somehow you're getting paid by YouTube for it? And yet I have to have special permission to pay my own to play my own music in the background of my feed? You know, something else is going on here. Something else is I mean, you see like so many people talk about I got visited by this, they came by. Never happened for me. Amanda Danielle, Madison Star Moon, used to always complain, oh, I'm so, the cops, they blah, 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 making videos and shit, making it look like the cops are getting to her. And then at the same time, I struggle with it too. Because I go, maybe I'm just like nuts here. Maybe I do really suck at this. And that's why I have only 6 viewers. I have 8 likes, 6 viewers, and 2,500 subscribers. One part of that equation doesn't make any sense. Do you know anybody else that has 2,500 subscribers and goes live to 6 people? Most of those guys are all Christ is King. There's nobody else like you in that way, especially. Yeah, I know. That's the thing that's always so like obvious to me. That's one of those deals. It's like they speak it. I don't know of anybody who is a reasonable voice, truther type person isn't Christ is King. Stu Peters, obviously Nick Fuentes, who's a fucking Catholic, Ian Carroll, I mean, the list, Alex Jones, I can't even think of all the people offhand, but there are so many I can picture them. I've seen their videos. That Belichick, she's very much they're all like that. And to me, it's sorry. I don't know why this one's so coffee all of a sudden. But it's always so weird. Like, you hear these incredibly intelligent videos where they're talking about, Mossad did this and in 19 that and, Israel this and this prime minister and they're naming names and they're saying all of this intelligent shit. And then they're like, and these guys hate Jews and they don't believe in Jesus. And they hate Jesus. And why do they hate Jesus? Jesus is he's our Jesus, sweet little baby Jesus in the manger. Genque. And to me, it's like almost like a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face that it's like walking outside and it's cold. It's like walking outside and it's warm in the house and you walk outside and it's in the teens and you go, oh my gosh. It's this shocking, like, what the fuck? I wasn't expecting it. Even though it's going to be cold, you're still not expecting it. It's just weird to hear him do that. I don't know, man. I find it strange. It's so weird, man. It's so weird. It's so weird, man. But I mean, like, even this episode, they're talking about it. And our society does that. A white man is getting robbed, so by two black men, and he shoots the black kids as they run off, and he shoots one, and the other one's running, and he shoots him too. And they're saying, "Oh, he's a black man shooting unarmed. Don't rob people." Like I am so. There are no good cops. Meant like it's weird. Like I've experienced things with police that are just as noble as can be. You know, I've seen the police go above and beyond to help in certain situations, and then I've seen the opposite. And I've seen the opposite more than not, or than the good. But I also like. I firmly believe that if there were good cops, there wouldn't be any bad cops. You know, the good cops are the ones that arrest the bad cops, and where are they? Right? That part is very difficult. But at the same time, you know, you're a black dude who is like, you know, the character I want to play is the drug dealer, thug, gangster character. You know, I'm gonna dress like the gangster. I'm gonna be the thug. I'm gonna talk like it. I'm gonna, yo, what's up? I'm gonna carry the gun. I'm gonna do whatever. You're gonna wear the bad guy outfit. You can't be shocked when the cops treat you like a bad guy. Now, when you're in a situation with the you have the legal right to kill you for any old thing, they just come up with whatever and they'll get away with it. For you to give them the reason is stupid as shit. So for you to go running away from a traffic stop because you have a dime bag of weed on you, and you know you're trying to be a G, and you might end up going to jail for the night or whatever. And I believe me, I think a lot of that shit is bullshit. And there's a lot of racist piece of shit cops out there and all that. But for you to give them that reason is fucking stupid. Don't run away from the cops. Face whatever's coming to you. Man up and face your shit. Don't you dare run. They're just itching to shoot you. Especially as a person of color. You know, white guys, you might get away with some shit. Black guys, you're going to get shot. Don't run away from cops. Our society's so fucked up. I feel like I wonder how many people are where we are right now. You know, you flip the channel and you see it's New Year's Eve in New York, and all these people are counting down and having a good time and all this other shit. It's like, you know, but there's way more of us lonely, concerned. Like, I have such a hard time being like, yay, let's celebrate because the New Year's, this, that, and the other, when they're murdering, you know? They're murdering the Palestinians. The Palestinians are just being destroyed. So this guy is Roop Raj. Roop Raj in might be 2019, I started reaching out to different news stations and people like Rube Raj. He works for Fox 2 Detroit, and he's like the Indian guy. He's the cool Indian guy. Blah, blah, blah. And so I reached out, to a bunch of different people with, I don't remember what the original message was. I could actually pull this shit up if I wasn't on this phone. And maybe I'll do that and send it over to my wife one of these days, and then I'll read you guys the exchange. But I had mentioned, some of the conspiracies and how, what you guys should do is bring me on, and I'll say the conspiracy side of things, and you can have your people debunk me, and then forever you can have this video of, hey, when somebody brings up the conspiracy, you can show them this. And I was telling him, COVID and all of it, like this was all happening. He was like, you know what? I'll reach out to one of my producers and see if maybe we can do something, and I'll get back with you in like a week and let you know. Week goes by, I don't hear anything. I reach out, he doesn't say anything. I wait, and it would be like I would reach out a couple of times and he wouldn't say anything, and then I'd be like, dude, what the fuck? I thought, you wanted me to reach. I thought this. I thought you were a cool guy. And then he'd finally respond and be like, "Hey man, I was just busy and blah blah blah." And so at one point, so our governor during COVID was doing this, like every day she was doing these briefings where she would have like a press conference, and she would it was like an all-girl power press conference. She was the governor, and then she would have like her head scientist chick was her head like expert was this black woman with this bigger forehead than me. The sign language person was a chick. Like, she was real big on it being chick power, but they would do these everyday briefings. I always think it was funny because they would walk up to the podium that they would all stand at and talk to the same microphone, and they would take down their mask and touch the sides of the podium and whatnot. And then when they would walk away, they would pull their mask up. And I just thought that was ironically stupid, and they would do that all the time. But then one day, like, she was doing this for a while, but then she just sort of disappeared. And I noticed it, and I had reached out to him, and I was like, hey, why is Governor Whitmer gone? Like, what's going on? Something weird is happening, this, that, and the other. And he was like, oh, you're crazy. She was just here yesterday or 2 days ago talking about everything's fine and her plans, this, that. And then that day or the next day, it came out that she had been under some kidnapping plot, and there was all this shit. And it was like, wait, dude, you told me that she was just there a day ago. What do you mean? You never mentioned anything like that, and you made it sound like I was crazy. And then he got real weird. And I was talking all about the Jews and stuff to him, and I was like, why don't you let me come on and say all this stuff, and you guys can just debunk it. You'll have that forever video of somebody debunking all the Jewish conspiracy theories and the blah, blah, blah. This guy is one of the darkest conspiracy theorists I know of, and it's amazing to see just how much YouTube doesn't care about anti-Semitism. Proud of anti-Semitism. Because you know what Semitism means, right? Like, you're stupid if you're going to use it wrong. We're not talking about Semitic, right? Because the only Semitic people are the Palestinians, and I'm in that conflict, at least. And I'm very much a supporter of the Palestinians, the Lebanese, the Yemeni, the Iranians. These are Semitic people, and I support them fighting the invasion, the infection of Semitism that is committing genocide right now, and controls our country, and it's fueling you, the dumbass who just said that shit. And Semitism is, quote, policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Policy, the rules and regulations, or predisposition. Predisposition's funny. Predisposition is like if all of your mom's family has cancer, then you have a predisposition to cancer. It's genetic programming. It's beyond what you purposefully do. It's beyond your control. And they demand that policy and predisposition is favorable to them. That's a very strange thing to say. And I am extremely proud to say, fuck you and your supremacy. I don't believe anybody should have policy and predisposition favorable to them. They don't know the difference. Most people don't. Yeah, well, most people are stupid. A lot of people in America do not understand just how insane those people are. Unless you've been there yourself, you shouldn't be allowed to talk about it. Really? That's how that works? Unless you've been someplace, you shouldn't be allowed to talk about it. So then why is it pushed all over the news? And why is my government, my tax dollars, why does so much go into this thing I shouldn't be talking about? I've never been to the North Pole. Should I never talk about Santa Claus? Because Santa Claus, supposedly lives in the North Pole. I mean, shit, I don't know you. You don't know me. The fact you've never met me, does that mean you should never talk about me? Do you realize how fucking stupid? You gotta get this right. And I think I've explained it way better than saying anything to the contrary. But look how stupid you are. And the thing is, look, if they were in the right, then they would encourage people to talk about it. The only reason you would not want people to talk about something is because you're doing horrible shit and you don't want it exposed. Right? If you're doing wonderful things, you encourage people to talk about it. You're proud of what you've accomplished and you're like, "Look at what we're doing. This is great. Everyone talk about it. Ask all the questions you want." Everything you guys do just proves exactly what I'm saying. Can you alter these people's propaganda? It'd be funny if it wasn't so dangerous. Well, I don't even know what you're talking about. We need to do everything we can to get rid of that cult altogether. That cult is just rotten. It's a rotten, despicable, disgusting supremacist cult that has, nobody's best interest but one small group in mind. That they only care about themselves. The only way they care about anybody else is in how it can benefit them. That's it. Again, what propaganda are you even talking about? Whose propaganda? I love you gotta say that like somebody else controls the propaganda, and that the Hamas propaganda. How does Hamas propagandize anybody? What access to any sort of media or anything? What algorithms? What does Hamas influence that is somehow propaganda? You should watch some Israeli YouTube people make videos about them. You should watch some of the Israeli YouTube people and make videos about them? Why? They're awful pieces of shit. I don't want to watch anything they do. I've tried to find proof of what they claim, like an attack on October 7th. But yet again, there's no investigation for the exact reason. Just like if you're telling the truth, you want people to talk about you. If there really was some sort of attack on October 7th and Israelis really did die, then they would encourage an investigation. Oh, look, I have 0 viewers. 8 watchers and 8 likes and 0 viewers. Suddenly, just like that, 0 viewers. Go on, tell me how it makes sense. How does it make sense, people? So funny. Yeah.
Can you hand me my phone?
No, I can't.
We'll go take care of Faith and Biggs.
Faith and figs?
Yeah, I hope it's late enough. I just don't want to run into too many fireworks. Hey!
You didn't leave. Well, guess what? You must be the one person then.
He's scared, Nick.
And goblin propaganda, obviously. Again, that's a ridiculous claim. This is how stupid he was raised. So, what news organizations or whatever do Arabs own? Because the only propaganda that I know of is all owned by Jews. It's all Jewish propaganda. So the claim that somehow there's propaganda coming through, again, what? What are you talking about? The Israel Hayom article, Bottom of Darkness, that exposes the incredibly insane ritual sexual abuse that you guys do to your children. You know, that's literally all Jews top to bottom. Israel Hayom is Sheldon Adelson's baby. There's no sand people propaganda in that. Matt, I'm going to send you a picture. But see what I mean? Do you see how dumb these people are? That's what inbreeding does. It creates this like incredibly stupid yet entitled personality. It's funny how many people have said I'm here and I haven't left, yet my number shows 0. How many times do you guys see that when someone's live? Well, every good point I make, they use that symbol. That's definitely not censorship. Yeah. Guys, I need your help in 2026. Can you guys commit to helping? You know, to sharing this shit. Every time I go live, I need you guys to share on Facebook. Whether you think people want to see it or not, who gives a fuck? I need your help. I'm going to continue to do my part. I need you guys to do your part. I need help. I cannot keep fighting this battle by myself. Look what they do. I mean, seriously, look at how crazy this feed is. You won't talk about this stuff in front of. What's the difference? You guys are fucking monkey animals. And if you don't like what someone's saying, especially when you have large numbers in your favor, because, you know, I notice you guys often get tough when the person is a woman or when you have, you know, superior numbers. And it's always when somebody says words you don't like, because, again, you're like fucking petulant children. You can't actually have any sort of reasonable conversation. So I'm gonna get violent because we would shut you down on all your allegations that are false and baseless. Oh, so in person you would be able to shut me down, but on this feed you have all of the advantage because you're in the background. Stumped me, everyone would see it, and you, haha, I got you. You have all the advantage here, all points, and debunk these baseless, false things I'm saying. But you can't. You can type out all these long-winded bullshit comments about how you're the victim, but you can't seemingly debunk anything I have to say because you're not in person. You know, just more crybaby stupidity. More fucking crybaby stupidity. You're all the same. You're typical excuse-making, thieving crybaby bitches. Who is? It's some friar, apparently. Some proud friar. Loves his metzitzia buffet, right? Nothing wrong with some metzitzia buffet. Where's the friar demanding that these practices be eliminated in their own community? Oh, cry me a river? That's your response? Oh, cry me a river. You just said you'd shut me down on all my baseless and false allegations if we were in person. So when it's pointed out how it's ridiculous that you can't do it on here, that's crying you a river? Well, you are such an embarrassment. You are such, these are the people, huh? People that we're losing to. That's the part that you guys need to wake up to. Of stupidity is really running the world. How can we be okay with that? That is just, that's insane. That's insane. Nobody should be okay with that. But like I say, you see this. This person has the opportunity to say anything. They could be like, oh yeah, well, you're wrong about this. And this is why, because blah, blah, blah. We're good because of this. We're good because of that. This is blah, blah, blah. This is justified. They could say any of those things. And instead they can't. You won't listen anyway, so why would I say those things? You're just gonna ignore what I say. So instead they say all this other bullshit. They'll say everything but, the intelligent, normal, like what you would expect a reasonable person sort of response. Everything but that. Look at this dumbass here. Well, if we were in person, then I'd shut your allegations. Then I'd shut you down. And where I have the opportunity to sit here and think about my answer and then type it out and make sure it makes sense and it's spelled correctly. No, I can't do it then. But in person, I definitely would. Yeah, I bet. I bet. They're jamming my signal. Of course they are. I have 2,500 subscribers. Why would I only be showing 2 viewers when there's clearly more than 2 viewers here? There's more than 2 people commenting at any given time. Again, guys, I need your help. Look at what they do to me. If they didn't do this shit to me, I would be one of the biggest fucking internet personalities there are. If those truther guys, any of them were actually real, then I would be up there. They're not doing anything any better or whatever than I am. That's for damn sure. Oh, let's see. Let's hear this bunch of excuses. I'm really not refuting anything because it's hard to understand what an angry, sad man and anti-Semite living in poor conditions with a roof that appears to be falling down, is drunk, is saying, oh, now you cannot understand what I am saying. What if I was like, then would you understand me? Is this some sort of conspiracy theory channel? No. We talk about facts. Just facts. I'm missing the point of this here. Well, I don't know how long you've been here, but maybe if you just hung out for a minute and took in what was being said, you'd figure it out. No, you can come up with all the excuses you want. I live in fucking Metro Detroit. I'm surrounded by cell phone towers. I'm on the second floor of an aluminum siding covered house, a giant antenna. There's no fucking viable reason why my feed shouldn't work perfectly. And yet, what are you, like 60? Why waste your time making yourself look silly on here? Do you hate us that bad? What have I or any one of us ever done to you? Well, again, I'm not some arrogant fuck who has to have you directly do something to me, although I've experienced your kind many, many times in this world. But no, the whole genocide thing that you're doing is awful. And like I've said repeatedly, I personally want to save the Jewish children because what the Jewish children are being put through is a nightmare. And somebody needs to stop that. If we can't eliminate the cult, then we have to eliminate what they're doing to their own children. So, again, things don't have to directly be done to me for me to hate the cult that is doing these horrible things. Cults. I'm very anti-cult. He's the only real truther out here. He's not arrogant, but if the friars weren't jamming his signal, he'd be totally famous. Happy you're ignorant and you're immature, taking things personally. Well, it's because he's a friar. Of course he's taking things personally. And I'm directly talking to him. I'm directly talking to all of these fucking friars. Fuck them all. I hate them all. I proudly hate that cult. I don't mince my words. I'm not trying to be confusing by any means. I hope they absolutely understand how much I hate the cult. You know, any one of them that leaves the cult and says, no, we're all here together and I don't need to belong to this cult that Metzitzia pays kids. Like I'm opposed to all that negative. We're all just here together. Let's make the world a better place. I'm all for it. It doesn't matter who your parents were. It doesn't matter the cult you were raised in. It's who you are as a person. And if you're somebody that's literally defending metzitzia, then you can eat the whole bag of dicks, man. I don't have any sympathy, anything for that. I don't have any compassion, nothing. And I definitely don't have any respect for it. You know, your whole premise of you being special and chosen and all that stuff. And again, we're not talking about people who are like, hey, let's just live and let live. We're talking about Semitism. We're talking about policy or predisposition favorable to your kind, specifically because you are who you are. Not because of what you do, not because of your merits, because of the bullshit. Take it personal. I'm not the one making it personal. No, I am. I don't, and again, you can hide behind all these bullshit responses, but thankfully you're too stupid to realize that everything you say just furthers my point. You're fucking stupid. And I am absolutely personally, you and everyone like you, everyone that chooses to be a cult member, everybody that chooses to continue to support the violation of children, under the guise of religious this, that, and the other. You know, fuck you all. I hope you all die. You know, you know, I hope that you change your mind and you leave your cult behind. But if you're not willing to leave your cult behind, I fucking hope you die. Your cult is horrible. Look at the genocide that you're causing now. And then you're sitting here crying about it like you're the victims and that you're justified in your genocide because, well, we wrote a book and the book we wrote says this land is promised to us by God. You can fuck right off. You're the one deflecting guy is directly acknowledging you. Yup. Lies about the children thing. Shaking my head. It's sad I have to sit here and correct the record. What part is a lie? Metzitzia B'Peh. I'm lying about Metzitzia B'Peh? Is that a thing I'm lying about? By all means, explain to us what Metzitzia B'Peh is then. You are what Guy just said. Simply stupid. Grow up and change or be hated as your cult hates. He's literally calling us friars. No, it's F-R-E-I-E-R-S. You know the word. Don't be stupid. What part's a lie? The ritual sexual abuse? That's not my story. That's Israel Hayom. Israel Hayom is Israel's #1 free weekly, propaganda paper. It's free. It's Sheldon Adelson's, Sheldon Adelson, Miriam and Sheldon Adelson, the people that controlled the president of the United States. He would call me and say, I need to see you. And I'd say, you can't just do that. I'm the president of the United States. And then he would just show up at my office. And if it weren't for him, I would have never signed over the Golan Heights. And I would have never signed over Jerusalem if it weren't for Miriam and Sheldon. These are some extremely powerful people. And again, Israel Hayom, top to bottom, from the lowest level, like stock boys, to maybe they might have some Palestinian or even the Indians. People don't see, nobody's talking about the Indian slaves. You guys remember the Indian slaves? Do you guys remember that early on in 2023, Israel bought 42,000 Indian supervised laborers or slaves. 38,000 were earmarked for construction jobs, and the other 4,000 were earmarked for elderly care. Construction jobs and elderly care are specifically Palestinian jobs. So it was almost like, it's not like they had a surplus of these positions. It was almost like they were preparing for the fact that they were going to have to replace their slave workforce in the next coming months. And nobody's talking about that. You haven't heard anybody talk, because, Israel hasn't been disrupted. You haven't heard about life being, as a matter of fact, Israelis are posting videos all the time about how great life is. There's no war going on. Look at how great life is. It's not bad here. There's no discrimination here. Look, some signs are in Hebrew, English, and then Arabic. Why would we have Arabic on signs if we were discriminating against them? Let's see. Why don't you come to Israel and see it yourself? Because you guys are lawless freaks who don't even know how to have reasonable conversation and would use your position to kill me and then not get in trouble for it. Why would I ever put myself in that sort of position? You're psychopaths. You're cowards and psychopaths. Again, why don't you just take the opportunity that you have right now and debunk a single thing I'm saying? Why do you pretend to know things like the situation or a culture without coming here and seeing for yourself? Well, you seem to think you know a lot about us and you're not here, are you? You're there. And I'm going off of what I've been shown. See, the thing is, if I put in Israel into the Google machine, and then I click news, and then I click sort by date, it's going to show me story after story from Jewish outlet after Jewish outlet that paints Israel as a monster. I don't even have to have it painted as a monster. I know the history. You have nothing. There's no reason why Israel should even exist. We have a biblical right to this land, and you guys have been, it has nothing to do with World War II, the Havara Agreement, the auto emancipation pamphlet. Like, I know more about this than you do. And this whole chosen land, all this, you have nothing. You stole all of that land. You have no rights to that land because your stupid book says something. I don't need to be told how to think. I can see it for myself. Happy is like a typical narcissist. You can show them evidence of something and they will still deny. No, he's a psychopath. We're talking about an absolute psychopath. Somebody that believes they're justified in committing genocide because they just are, because they're just born better. Their disgusting troll parents had sex, and that means they deserve more than we do. Happy has been to Israel plenty of times, and it's literally sitting here listening to blatant lies. You keep saying that, but you're not pointing out any of these blatant lies I'm saying. Using the same logic, why do you think you can speak about Guy or the U.S. without being there? I'm in the U.S. right now. I'm in Ohio, born in California. Oh, so why do you keep saying you need to come here to Israel? Are you just stupid? Seriously, are you just speaking from like a really stupid perspective? Because I could totally believe that. We are talking about a friar, right? So the idea that you're just a dumbass who has been saying you need to come here, but you're in Ohio. Well, I thought you meant Israel.
Ohio.
I think you just got busted in another one of your lies.
Ohio.
There's not a lot of things I like too much about California either. Oh. Well, except for the statute of limitations laws and shit on the pedophilia stuff, right? You guys sure love that.
Ooh, burn.
You guys love that. You take advantage of it all the time, that's for sure. But you guys understand that this person just lied. They lied about something, right? Either they're lying about the fact that they're in Ohio right now or whatever bullshit they're trying to say, or they lied about you need to come here. Either way, they were lying about something, and that shows you exactly what I'm saying. You can't trust these people for anything because all they do is fucking lie. You got the entitlement, that's all they need, yeah. I haven't seen you alive at night before. Well, there's lots of things that exist that you don't know about. How? That's not a dick thing to say. It's the truth. I've been live several times at night. If you haven't seen it, well, that's what happens. They sort of censor me. I mean, it's kind of the point. Yeah.
Never heard that.
No, yeah, it's true. I mean, it's not true. I'm lying just for attention. At the end of the day, I was like, what's the best way to get attention? Well, I could sell an already proven commodity, which is Jesus, and I could make a lot of money doing it. Or now get this. I could talk about that thing that nobody's allowed to talk about and absolutely destroy any chance of having a career while alienating myself to my family and everyone else because, I'm talking about the thing we're not supposed to talk about. That'll get me some attention. Huh? Yeah, I'm gonna do that one.
Do you like use some attention?
Right, right. Well, but not like a lot of good positive attention. Right. Because if you think about it, if I was selling you guys Jesus, just looking the way I look, let alone the birthdays and all that other shit. Do you know how much money I would make? How quickly I would become famous if I was selling Jesus? If I wanted attention, that would be the easiest, safest, most reliable, easy money made route. Again, the birthdays, I mean, seriously, put my hair down and start spouting off the birthdays. Guy, son of Guy and Mary, born on Christmas. Parents are born on the same day, same year, summer solstice, the cusp between Gemini and Cancer. So each of them are 3 astrological signs. So 6 astrological signs came together to get me, Guy, son of Guy, and Mary, whose parents are Margaret, Magdalena, and Joseph, with my bronzy feet and my woolly hair. Do you know how much Jesus money I could make?
Throw in a stigmata, and boy, howdy.
Right. I'm in the UK, and the small hats have their own section of London all to themselves. Why do they have their own everything? Absolute cancer of the earth, these people are. Yes, for sure. I'm a little behind because I'm making comments and then listening to what you're saying, and we didn't take anything, and that's a blatant lie. The English gave us. Yeah, the English gave it to you. Yep. Wonder why? Why?
Under duress, perhaps? No.
Because you had your people in control of their situation as well. It's all just such bullshit. How could the English give you Palestine unless, well, let's do a fake World War One bullshit and we'll put the British in charge of Palestine. That's the only place that happened. It wasn't like there was British mandate all of these other places that came from World War One. It was just British mandate Palestine. And for 28 years, the Palestinians, oh no, don't worry about having a military. Don't worry about having a government. We got you. Just sit, be comfortable. It's all good. Oh, never mind all those Jews that keep coming into the country. They're okay. They're safe. Never mind them. Yeah, I know. Never mind them. And then all of a sudden, in May 15th, 1948, instead of, the Allies, British pulled out, they didn't pull out, they just turned around. You can't say that on May 15th, 1948, Israel invaded Palestine and took over. Israel didn't exist. So they didn't have a military to be able to take over. So what military expelled 750,000 Palestinians and killed between 15 and 20,000 of them? That had to be the British that were already there. The First World War was about establishing British Mandate Palestine. The Second World War was about giving the excuse based on the fake Holocaust narrative. And that's how that worked out. That was their long-term plan when they first got together with the World Zionist Conference in 1894 and planned for how they were going to finally establish Israel. They were gonna be given Uganda under the Uganda proposal, but that would have been too much work, and they didn't want that shit. Plus, enslaving a bunch of black people was becoming unpopular. So instead, they just went up and started enslaving their own people.
Those optics didn't look good anymore.
You could make money cosplaying as Jesus. Absolutely. I've said I've been to Israel plenty of times. I didn't say I was in Israel currently. No, you said multiple times you need to come here. You can't talk bad about this place unless you've been here. You said that right in the beginning. You can't talk bad about Israel unless you've been here.
Oh.
Walking contradiction, even your name, for example. Right. Well, they are happy. They're happy oppressing people. They're happy raping children. They're happiest at the worst. And this dude he's a troll. He's coming onto the feed where the guy says we should kill pedos and overthrow the Friar control scheme. And he's being a troll, piece of shit, saying all these horrible things. He's happy doing that. You're definitely not happy. Quite the opposite. Yeah. Just a piece of shit. His name should be piece of shit, but then there would be too many of them. Schittsburg. Yeah, it's about to get loud out in this motherfucker. I'm actually purposely going live just to see what happens. If suddenly the grid goes down, or the bombs start going off, or the sirens start going off, at least we're here together. I'm a disgusting cat right now. You're a piece of shit. You defend metzitzia. Notice how this piece of shit has avoided that? I've directly brought it up several times now, and they've completely avoided it. Why do you think that is? It's because they know it's so much more common than we know it is, and they don't want us knowing about it. And one of the things they've been taught is that when you don't want something to keep going, don't talk about it. Talk about something else. You know, the Secure Community Network, it connects at least 90% of American friars. Back in like 2022, so it's probably higher by now. He set himself up. Of course he does. They always do. If you let them talk, they out themselves. It's standard. By the way, I have one viewer, apparently. If you're watching, don't forget to like, share, and sub. Deafening, playing dumb. He's like an ostrich sticking his head in the sand. You know they don't actually do that. They detract from the point to keep the truth out of your memory. It's called ad hominem. Or argumentum ad hominem. It's a very common practice. It's what they do. Literally, again, notice how he's not actually answering anything. Why is that? I've asked direct questions, and they don't answer any of it because he just, like I say, the Secure Community Network teaches them all to what to do, what to say. Remember, they have the act.io provides them the talking points. You know, if you say these things, if somebody says things, tell them they have mental issues. And it goes back to auto emancipation, where if you don't believe that they are superior and that they should have their own state and all that, then you have psychosis and a mental disorder and an irrational phobia and like all these things. It's all right there. If I was given the platform to be able to make the presentation, I bet you I could convince the world in about an hour. It'd take me about an hour to make the entire presentation, and I think I could change the world. Must be those old school church tunes in the arts. Yeah, but it's not true. Isn't that weird? So ad hominem, short for argumentum ad hominem, refers to arguments where the commenter, that's you, attacks the character, motive, or some other attribute of the person making the argument, me, rather than the substance of the argument itself. This avoids genuine debate by creating a diversion, often using a totally irrelevant but often highly charged attribute of the opponent's character or background. Just like the person earlier trying to talk about, you know, my kid's enlarged heart and all that other bullshit. Like, that's argumentum ad hominem. The most common form of this fallacy is person A, me, makes a claim of fact to which person B, your dumbass, asserts that person A, me, has a personal trait, quality, or physical attribute that is repugnant, thereby going off topic, and hence person B, your dumbass, concludes that person A, me, has their quote fact wrong without ever addressing the point of the debate. That sounds really familiar, doesn't it? That sounds like exactly what they do on my shit time and time again. It actually has a name. It's actually a common tactic. It's a very well known tactic. Huh?
It's a thing.
It's a thing. You know, 2026 is minutes away here in the East. It's actually, this is the main time zone, right? Because this is when the balls are going to drop and all that other shit. You know, it's already the new year for a lot of you. For open-minded, it's already a new year. Happy's avoiding answering guys' questions. Of course, they have to. It's part of the curriculum. The curriculum, the system that they belong to, the secure community network, the act.io, the Team Horror, well, not Team Horror, but it tells them they're not allowed to answer these questions. He can't get into a discussion about metzitzia with me because he knows he'll lose. Act.io is a social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose online anti-Israel content such as the boycotts, divestments, and sanctions movement, BDS. Look at how they leave the boycott, the BDS movement, lowercase. Funny, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Its activities were referred to as quote an online propaganda campaign and quote a virtual situation room of pro-Israel experts. Act.il directed its users to missions to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel material on social media. It also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Users were guided how to respond, which might entail writing a reply using the provided talking points. See what I mean? You see how, like, they don't answer the questions, they say other things. They've been trained how to do that. The app also provided users with ready-made memes promoting Israel's perspective for them to share. By completing missions, people like the cat, like the pussy up there, earned points. Points, therefore, unlocked badges, which are prizes, and had their scores displayed on leaderboards. They literally weaponized trolling. The average Israeli, the average friar, has incentive to waste their time finding feeds like mine and trying to interfere. They've been taught how to do it, and they get points. For the more interaction, the more engagement, the more I don't know how the point structure works. I'm not them. But it says it in black and white right there on a Wikipedia page that can't be edited. Right? We know they control Wikipedia, so this is balanced and Zionist in nature. It's telling you that they've weaponized trolling and that they earn points, which unlocks badges. What else could badges mean? What do you think? It's digital badges that they can wear, digital flair for their digital shirt? No. New TV, new car, new trip to Israel. It's all there. And they facilitate their communications through the secure community network. So there's no pay, like they talk about all these things amongst themselves. They get given pamphlets and sent all sorts of information through the secure community network on exactly how to do this shit. When Bondi Beach bullshit's going on, the secure community network is like, don't worry, it's okay. Everything's under control. Again, notice how the pussy ran away. The little putty cat ran away. Put it on the... What is it? Whatever, 262. You guys give a shit about New Year's? Do you guys even give a shit about New Year's? The ball's about to drop. You guys want to watch it?
What channel to
You gotta come downstairs, Shelby. I need to kiss my wife.
What actors were you on saying?
2026 is gonna be a good year for us. This is the local one, so it's gotta be 62 is the better one. Yeah, this is the New York one. We're a minute away. Gus, come here. Yes.
I'm gonna pick you up.
No, you're not. Oh.
Why?
Why would I want you to pick me up, weirdo?
So you can look at this. We can be like a ball draw. I can draw a good bunch of
Okay,
dice.
okay,
Slow.
oh, okay.
I love you, Daddy.
I love you too, dude. Come on, woman, come here. You got Conor McGregor sitting there right in the show. Look at I would never be in New York for one of these things. I would be terrified. Playing biddies.
He's fine.
Come on, dude. 9, 8, 7, 6,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Wait, why did it say 20?
Why am I in the middle of this?
Why did it say 2024?
2026.
It said 2024.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's interesting.
I mean, no, that's awesome. It's cool that they did that.
Planet Fitness.
Why aren't they showing hot chicks kissing?
Yeah. Look, see 2024.
Because hot chicks kissing doesn't bother people. It does sort of look like 2024.
Yeah.
For a second. You guys are terrible at this.
I don't want to hit
It's
this.
up once and then this. Up once and then this.
I know. Mom's good at doing this stuff.
Of course she is. She was a stripper for years.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Come here.
Need a big hug and kiss. Papa.
I love you. 2026 is going to be a good year for us.
Yeah. It's going to be a black year for us.
It's going to be, yeah, we'll be in the
Hold
black
on,
this year.
hold on. Stay here.
If they,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year, Mary.
Oh, Alex, did you see that? What? You did you watch the New York Horror
You're with
Channel?
Gramps. Happy New Year, Gramps.
What channel?
Because you're right.
Huh?
Keep it shit. Who's the New York? Who's the?
What channel?
It's been a really, really country fucking New Year's celebration. It's terrible. Derek, 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 Derek. Shut up, country music.
The one we saw.
And the awfulness that we all hate much. Getting into shape is the 89% most common result. You know, like, it's just, there's so much shit that they just hide from us, you know. There's so much where it's like, can't wait to leave this matrix one day. Shut up, stop it. How about can't wait to make this a better situation? See, you start thinking about things the wrong way. And that's the problem, man. It's your stinking thinking that's got you the way you are. You only get to leave once. And you'll get to. It's inevitable. It's a guarantee. You will absolutely get to.
Hilarious.
Look at that. See? Those weren't fireworks.
Oh no, those were gunshots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Look at that shit. He's telling you no one's. That's what I mean. That's the difference between like Goy versus chosen piece of shit.
It used to be Jim Bob every year. Yeah, it was back. Yeah, 2 doors down.
But and see, like, of course, the piece of shit fucking friar is going to encourage you to do that because they're piece of shit friars. You know? It's what they are. They enjoy others. Like, remember this. At all times, remember, Israel could have taken Palestine decades ago. They could have wiped Palestine off the map decades ago, and it wouldn't even be a thought right now. There wouldn't be all the hatred. They could have done it before we had the ability to communicate with each other, and there would be all this negative towards them. They could have done this back in the fucking right away in the 40s, in the 50s. They could have done it. But if you like hamburgers and you own a cow farm, you don't kill all of your cows because you want one. You gotta leave enough cows so that every time you want a hamburger, you have a cow. And they enjoy eating hamburgers. They enjoy the slow kill. They have their rituals that they need their fucking blood libel for. You know, they have to kidnap children, and they're not going to do it to their own, that's for sure. So what do? They have a little farm right in the middle of their territory. And they can test out anything they want to test out, and they can, you know. Maybe you should see a psychiatrist. Could help. See what I mean? Remember when I just got done telling you that their whole argument is based in mental shit? This dumbass comes in and says it. Because this is what they have. This is all they have. He just encouraged somebody to kill themselves. And he's suggesting that I get the mental help. This is who they are, man. They enjoy our suffering. The reason why Gaza has gone on this long is because they enjoy killing them, raping them, you know, bloodletting them. You know, they're just such horribly ugly little trolls. And they know it. It's why you would never see this fucker make a Guy Williams Sucks video. Because he wouldn't want everybody to see his fucking nasty face. But remember, we already busted this guy. This guy's already been busted lying. Initially, he said he was in Israel, and then he claimed he was in Ohio. So one of the two things is a lie. Like this is what they do. And this is our year to eliminate this. This is our year to rise above this. Crazy, man. Such a crazy, crazy fucking existence. Everybody out there celebrating. And Israel's killing people as we speak. Let's see. Let's just see. I want to see if there's reports of death. 45 minutes ago, Israel's Netanyahu among partygoers at Trump's New Year's Eve fete. Zaka responded to over 7,000 cases in 2025, upholding Kavod Hemit in Israel and abroad. Don't know what that is. I'm sure that's complaining crybaby shit. An hour ago, Israel begins demolishing 25 residential buildings in West Bank camp. And that is what I was looking for. The buildings, home to some 100 families, are in the Nur Shams camp, a frequent site of clashes between Palestinian militants and Israeli forces. So when it's supposed to be good, Israel goes first. When it's something bad, they'll be like the Palestinian militants. They have no right to be fighting against what's being done to them. Israeli bulldozers began demolishing 25 buildings housing Palestinians in a refugee camp on Wednesday, in what the military said was an effort to root out armed groups in northern areas of the occupied West Bank. Oh yes, I'm sure. The buildings, home to some 100 families, are in the Nur Shams camp, a frequent site of clashes between Palestinian militants and Israeli forces. Israeli military bulldozers and cranes tore through the structures early Wednesday, sending thick plumes of dust into the air, an AFP journalist reported. Many residents watched from the distance. The military said the demolitions were part of an operation against militants. Following ongoing counterterrorism activity by Israeli security forces in the area of Nur Shams in northern Samaria, the commander of the Central Command, Major General Avi Bluth, ordered the demolition of several structures due to a clear and necessary operational need, the military told AFP in a statement. The Bluth, his last name is Bluth. Now I hate Arrested Development. Areas in northern Samaria have become a significant center of terrorist activity, operating from within densely populated civilian areas. They literally they don't even take any damage. Like they have no casualties or anything like that. I'm not reading the rest because it's just fucking insane. Even a year after the beginning of the IDF operations in the area, forces continue to locate ammunition, weapons, and explosive devices used by terrorist organizations which endanger IDF soldiers and impair operational freedom of action. How come they're not dying? How come they're not consistently reporting losses? Earlier in December, AFP reported residents of the targeted buildings retrieving their belongings, with many saying they had nowhere to go. The demolitions form part of Palestinian territory since 1967. New what is now Israel. With time, the camps what is now Israel. With time, the camps established inside the West Bank neighborhoods, not under their adjacent cities' authority. Residents pass on their refugee status from one generation to the next. Many residents believe Israel is seeking to destroy the idea of the camps themselves, turning them into regular neighborhoods of the city that they flank in order to eliminate the refugee issue. Gee, no, that's not what they're doing. Start off the new year by demolishing the houses of over 100 families. Guys, this is our time. It's our time. 2026 is our time. The toothpaste is out of the tube. It cannot go back in. We are so much better than them. We are the best. We have to stop fighting each other over stupid things like color, stupid things like sexual identity, stupid things like sexual preference. They have us fighting each other over the worst things when they're doing the worst things. I'm telling you, this needs to end before it gets worse. Because what they're doing to Palestinians is what they're going to do to us if we let them. If we don't stop them, they're just going to do more. Trump is laying those foundations as we speak. He's following his orders. Again, Netanyahu has visited the United States 5 times since Trump took office. He's been to Israel once. So that's 6 times in a year. That's once every 2 months. They're colluding. Netanyahu is under indictment to the point where Trump was talking about giving him a pardon. Nobody else wants to do it, but somehow the United States has such a powerful vote that they override everything else. What's the point of having a voting system when the United States vetoes anything it wants to? What's the point of the vote? The United States makes up all the vote, so it doesn't even fucking matter. Netanyahu is such a piece of shit, I hope he dies. My New Year's resolution is that I hope if New Year's resolutions exist, Netanyahu dies. I don't hope anybody kills him. I hope he dies. If you have any left over, Trump too. But that would put Vance in charge, and Vance is such insanity. It's all just such insanity. And so, I appreciate you spending the new year with me. This is our year to shine. Fuck. We got to get TBG on the radio. My New Year's resolution is to get TBG on the radio. I hope you can share in that resolution because that makes all of our lives better. So check out the description, all the links in the description, all the receipts in the description. Check out the well, you won't be able to see the comments, but that's why I read the comments. So you guys, if you're watching after the fact, you know what was said. Have yourself a great, safe night. Be safe tonight, you guys. Thank you, Mary. I hope so. I really hope so. Because it's not even like a selfish thing. I think we can make the world a better place. I think if there's a voice out there saying it, and it's a voice that's not black, not white, not Christian, not Muslim, not that, one that's just representative of all of us. That's a powerful thing. Plus, it just so happens to be that the music's really good. So go get your free download. It is the year for us to shine. No, you already know it's not true. We know you guys are terrified. You have to see what's happening. It's why you and again, look at how this douchebag chooses to respond to that. But when I ask him about metzitzia, he runs away. Right? This just goes to show you exactly what's happening. We cannot continue to lose to people that fucking stupid. You know. Happy New Year to both you guys. Right? Like they're that stupid and it's just so obvious. So let's overthrow them this year. And let's make the world the place it should be. Let's make life better for everyone, including those of them that aren't truly pedophiles and don't enjoy the ritual sexual abuse and all that. Right? Oh yeah, if your resolution was to spread peace, then you would end the cult that's causing all of the worst things to happen in the world, from the genocide to the pedophilia. That's your cult. And as I've said, if you were actually a decent person, you would say, "Oh, look, oh, this show, they're talking about Israel on the show." If you were actually a decent person, you would be able to say, "Yeah, you know what? I'm better than this piece of shit cult that rapes children."
Give me 3 minutes.
No. All right. There's nothing to say about that, LOL. You're just confused. What am I confused about? Tell me what's wrong with metzitzia. What am I confused about with metzitzia? Is that not the after circumcision, after Brit Milah at the bris? You have Brit Milah performed by the moil, who then does metzitzia to cauterize the wound and clean the wound by sucking on it. What am I confused about there? By all means, educate us, oh high and mighty chosen. Come on, friar. Show us how smart you are. Tell me what I'm confused about. Stop avoiding. Stop being a crybaby. Right? Stop hiding. You have an audience here that's waiting for your explanation. They're waiting for you to blow my whole shit apart. Tell me how I'm wrong. That's not what's happening. And then we can talk about Israel Hayom, bottom of darkness. I notice how again you're avoiding the giant fucking elephant in the room. Right? And here you go. Here is the bottom of darkness Israel Hayom article. Come on, load up. There it is, bottom of darkness. Israel Hayom. Multiple women. Oh, let's see. Shit. Multiple women recount organized abuse, including ritual ceremonies. It's one of these. It's so hard to look at this because it just keeps kicking you out. Conducted by people they knew, even close family members, after months of interviews with victims and their families, treatment professionals, and experts in Israel and abroad, a disturbing picture emerges with descriptions difficult to read. Tell me about it. I would literally go in a live conversation with you, talking you through the rich culture of the Jewish people, but it's easy to find listening to the correct people. Oh, so again, you can say that, but you can't address what I'm talking about. I don't care about your rich cultural bunch of lies, your bullshit Hebrew that was invented in the late 1800s, all the ancient friar stuff. That's all bullshit anyway. You don't have a rich cultural this, that, and the other. Hebrew was invented in the fucking late 1800s by Eliezer ben Yehuda. It's without a doubt. Without a doubt. But again, this is your deflection, right? Instead of trying to explain why it's okay that they suck on pain, or even, you know, being a decent person and saying, you know what, you're right. That practice is horrible, completely outdated, and just disgusting, and it makes us look bad. We as Jews need to rise up and do everything we can to stop that from happening. He doesn't say that either. He just says, I'm confused. Yeah, this is the worst article ever. This is the most important article ever written. But this is Israel Hayom. Go on, tell me how Israel Hayom isn't a legitimate source. I suffered painful sodomy. Truly felt like I was splitting in two. It was a terrible experience, but there's something about these things, perhaps in their strangeness, that's like maybe the hardest component is that if you tell people about these things, they'll think you're crazy, because that's a thing. You know, if a child tells you that they've been sexually assaulted by a group of adults, you go, oh, you're crazy, stop lying. I remember many types of severe sexual abuse, but there's something about these ritualistic abuses that makes them the bottom of darkness. Hopefully, you get a good night's sleep and kick whatever you're on and have a good new year. I've got things to do. Oh, look at the coward. Yes, I will take that victory. Run away, you bitch ass friar coward. You guys see it? You guys see it. Suddenly they have these things to do or oppose him intellectually and prove him wrong. Right. They can't. Been sitting here for hours with nothing but crybaby to say. When presented with the facts right to his fucking face and called out, what does he do? Oy vey, I've got to get out of here. Speaking of all this child rape that you're talking about, you know what? I think I'm gonna go. I got some stuff to do. Kind of weird, huh? I start talking about this, and suddenly he's got to go. Did I remind him of something? Did he get turned on by what I was talking about? Fucking sick motherfucker. When I point out that he could say, look, the new generation doesn't do that. We hate it. We're doing what we can to eliminate it. No, nope. They never say that. Even with as many times as I've pointed out, they still haven't learned enough to say that because they're proud of what they do. They're disgusting. And it's up to us, man. It's up to us to do something about it. So you have yourselves a wonderful night. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll skip tomorrow morning, but knowing me, I probably won't. So all the receipts, go get the free download. Come on, it's New Year's. Go get the free download. www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. It's free. It's the thing. That's how we do this. That's how we defeat them, is using their own shit against them. And I promise you, if we could just get one TBG song on the radio, you know what everybody needs to do? Go look up our song Popular. Popular doesn't even say anything bad. You can just, it's just got a great beat, something you can dance to, a catchy hook, all of it. It's the perfect song. Go listen to Popular. Go share the music with somebody. And then check out all the other receipts. Go look at Hollywoodism. Go watch that. The most important film ever made. Go read the Israel Hayom article that scared the kitty cat pussy away. Go check out the Havara Agreement, Team Jorge, all the other things that I have receipts for in the description. Have yourself a wonderful night. And you pedophiles, kill yourself. Because when things change, you're going to wish you had.